Okay. I've made sure the stream is okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to stare at the please stand by chat, but we're having a pre-show conversation that I'm like, wait, I gotta get the stream started on this.
I just got here. I don't know what's happening.
We had a pre-show topic that instantly like, no, this is content.
What now?
So some of you out there on the internet, I kind of feel like I'm starting, the bootleg front half of an episode of Will of the Council, because this is. I don't know what recording schedule they're on, but if they don't end up talking about this, I will be disappointed. But okay, so some of you at home chat have probably heard or seen of this movie, Better Man, which has a monkey man in it. And Vesper, I believe you just today discovered it's a biopic.
It was last night, but I was at work overnight, and I woke up and was still thinking about it.
Like the name it was about was familiar, but I just no recollection of who the fuck it was.
Well, that's kind of the running joke is that no one in America knows who Robbie Williams is.
It reminds me of. I think about other people that have I think of Robin Williams.
Just before we got into the chat.
When was he? No, he has to have known. Sorry, I looked him up. While he was born in the 70s. He's about 50 now, by the way, chat. Which once again really puts us into stark relief. This guy was 50 years old, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, make me the monkey." But he started his career around 1990, which was after peak Robin Williams. So he clearly is picking his stage name to go through the stuff.
Also, the Robbie I care more about is Robbie Damon because he's a sex driver.
Well, that's fair, but no. But yeah, Robbie Williams is a guy who's he's a British pop act who got started in the 90s, and he decided to do a biopic. And I mean, I want to be fair. I don't know.
None of us have seen this movie and have a proper opinion on it.
Yes, that's true. And I do not know if the movie. No, it was a Christmas release last year.
Oh, fuck.
From what I've heard of general opinion, the movie does not seem bad. It's just one of those bizarre cases.
Well, chat here. I'll put it into people. So I'm looking at Wikipedia right now, assuming the editors are on their ball. Budget, $110 million, probably for all the CG. Box office, $11.4 million.
Yeah, it's one of those cases of, again, budgets for things have reached such an absurd level. You have to be a box office hit to not be a gigantic flop. You cannot be a mild success anymore.
Yeah, at least not with the current way Hollywood is making movies. So what I was going to say before I read those stats was, to be fair, don't know if this was supposed to be a high-level, big budget film, because it was he was showing it off earlier in the year at film festivals. This is one of those ones where because this is what got us on this. We were talking about how crazy this is. No, this is a grown-ass man. He is a full adult, and he said with his full chest, I think this movie will hit better if I replace myself with a CGI ape, because, well, one, he's joked about saying that he always felt less evolved than other people. What a self-own. But also because nobody will know who he is anyway, so the monkey will be a better hook. And it turns out it's not.
Yeah, so
nobody gets the joke.
The problem he's done is that he's created a movie where, because no one knows who Robbie Williams is in America, at least, apparently he's a gigantic Brit-pop superstar, and a running bit in every single post about it is oh, Americans don't know who Robbie Williams is. I'm no, we don't.
No, that is. Have you never listened to Todd in the Shadows? We don't understand what the British pop charts are like here. We barely understand the Canadian pop charts, and those guys are literally right next door.
I don't even know the current pop charts.
That's also another thing. Who's a millennial to early. Yes, early Gen Z, I guess is how you do that, who actually pays attention to modern music charts.
All music hits I know are people that care about shit that doesn't go past the year 2004.
I don't know. Have you heard of this one talent named Maury Calliope? She's got some bangers.
But anyways,
but no,
so you've created a movie where to American fans who don't understand the obvious joke of, oh no, it's a man, so I'm a monkey. They see this trailer for a biopic, and then the guy's a monkey. So they're like, oh, so it's like a fake movie about a monkey who becomes a music star. That seems weird. But no, it's a biopic about a real guy. He's just a monkey.
He just committed to an in joke he had.
Like I said, I wondered if somebody sold him on this, but no, I think he just liked his own joke so much that he was willing to blow $110 million because I am sure that doing your entire movie with a CGI, chimp man as your protagonist was not cheap, and it's not working out. And I don't get it. I don't know what you were thinking.
But on the topic of silly men and silly jokes.
Well, I'll switch the screen, but we are after 7. I got a couple of things to mention in the Yugi sphere because we haven't talked about it as we go in. But we're gonna wrap up Balatro today, hopefully in less time than we took last time.
When we get to Balatro, I do have one mild addendum to point out that I figured out not too long after our stream ended about one of the Jokers we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff, but
also That's fair. Thanks for just giving me a bit of information about the hanging card, because it's not actually the name of the fucking Joker.
Hanging Chad?
That's not the name.
What?
Oh, actually, is the technical name Ballot?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't actually talked about that Joker yet. The Joker, the art depicts a hanging Chad for sure. Oh, yeah, no, it is called Hanging Chad. It's got Ballot on it. It's the other way around. That Joker is Hanging Chad. I'm looking at it right now. That's number 115, by the way. We got a ways to go.
Yeah.
No, that one is called Hanging Chad. Not every Joker actually says its name correctly on it. Anyway, Axe having existential crisis about this right now. I'm going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh for a second while he processes that one. Because I'm sure he feels like a crazy person right now. You're okay. Don't worry. You'll be all right. I mean this unsarcastically.
I walked away to check out my air fryer.
So wait, you own an air fryer?
Yes. I've owned one for years.
Careful. I'm still sick. You gotta be careful.
No,
if you make me
fine.
belly laugh, you're gonna make me cough.
Ooh. No, yeah, so cough all the others out. You're fine.
That's right. No, you gotta balance my humors. Anyway, we have a new announcement for a deck build pack. Is the first thing I want to talk about. We're getting new cards, semi-Pog Champ, just a little bit of Pog, we'll have to find out in future if they are the greatest thing ever or they suck ass.
They will kill Snake Eyes and Tear Lament and
Zodiac. Already dead.
Why is this one bigger? What are you
like,
implying,
I don't know
YG organization? I grabbed all of these without blowing them up, and the K9 one is the bigger.
I mean furries. What else is there to say?
So we've confirmed
Go ahead.
I
would say it's less furry and more like Arknight's Mimi, because it's like
furries.
I mean, kinda. It's
There's
still
a gradient scale of that because
she's got a nose, but I mean, there's literally a scale image. This is probably like 30%. We're not quite in the Kimono Mimi scale, but
it's
this is
Arknight's level. It's like Arknight's level of furry, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna agree. This is definitely an Arknight's character. We've finally reached that stage. But so we have from left to right, we have 3 new themes announced. Theme number 1 is a quote-unquote fusion monsters that wield the power of dragon magic, Dragon Tail. The depicted card is Dragon Tail Altharion. So a dragon fusion archetype. Who could have guessed?
We're fixing Brandon the second time, baby.
The next one is the adorable one. Is a synchro monsters that are catch. I'm assuming this is literally translated because otherwise I have words for YG organization anyway, but this better be a direct quote. Synchro monsters that catch cute and quirky little guys who are the sweetest treats imaginable that are light beasts. You better not have made that presser up, otherwise I will kill you.
So the main deck for Lemuria, or the sleeping girl, I can't remember her name.
I mean, or even Melfi's, depending.
It could
Melfi,
synergize with
or
Melfi.
even-
It's
or
if it's
even
light beasts
the,
and it's synchro, could be Ancient Fairy,
Or
Dragon,
Fable.
or Fabled. Some of the Fables anyway. The
Doug's
problem
deciding to
problem
tell me.
is this archetype, which is by the way straight up called archetype number 2, Yummy. It's straight up the Yummies.
Oh god, that's just like a fucking gav.
But it's it would have to be the greatest and most push archetype pack ever for it to unbolt as like Fabled sub engine Fiendsmith. Like, no way. But this one that is depicted is called Cup Sith Yummy Way. Because,
So like
you know,
Cat Sith? I
yes,
guess, is the
like
joke?
Cat
Oh my god, is it
but
really
a
gonna
cup.
be like this? Is it gonna be like why am I blanking on it? Name of the deck that Robert loves. That's only doesn't stay in the graveyard.
I mean, I don't know. We're like we. This,
there
this is all we
are a
have.
couple different Kate Sith cards, because there is the Fabled one.
No, I'm saying. What is the archetype that is all different puns on desserts and doesn't
Madolche?
go...
Oh, Madolche.
Madolche.
Yeah.
Yes, this feels like Madolche but animals.
I mean, Madolche had animals in them, is the thing, though.
Yeah.
Food cake, Mufli, so on and so forth.
Croissant.
Uh,
Yeah,
what?
But these
In
these are
either
a
way.
different vibe of desserts. And then the last one, the one that obviously everybody's looking at because it's the waifu archetype, which by the way, so once again, we've got it's the platonic ideal of Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes. We've got fuck huge dragon man with awful hands.
Cute little chibi
Quirky.
things.
Cute
Quirky
thing.
little guy
Woman.
and lady. Yeah,
And then
And hot-
magical
and-
lady.
attractive lady.
Which is an Xyz theme called K9. Xyz monsters that strike down evil and villainy that spreads in the darkest shadows. And her
It
name
could be like-
is K917 Gul Rippa. K9 number 17 Ripper.
We are really just. Ironically, they make me. When I first saw the art, it made me think of fucking S-Force, but it might be
Yeah,
the S-Force
that
equivalent in
definitely-
Xenomorphia. I
It
guess.
definitely feels like the aesthetic they're going for. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they've got a tie-in or if it's just.
She's got the
similar
number on a.
artists, but
Actually,
yeah.
she has a collar. It's fucking like her fucking like dog badge. She's her
Yeah.
fucking 17.
No, so we'll see how this turns out. You know, they've been better about deck build packs actually being good.
Think they'll
Which
be rank 9s?
could be. There's not a really good like locked in pure rank 9 strategy.
Besides-
Generators have
Yeah.
rank 9s that are very good, but the main thing is that those are your boss monsters because they built an entire deck out of having a whole shitload of very utilitarian 9s. So
And I
like,
mean, there is the big rank 9 in the room who I think he exists still.
which one?
is
Does he? Does True King still exist? or
No,
has he-
he's
has he
dead.
been-
I think he's dead everywhere. They killed his ass.
Okay, thank
Finally.
God.
Yeah, no. So no need to worry about all calamities.
I'm sorry, I know you like doing a bit, but like,
No, I
it'd
think
be better if you
that-
just actually directly say what you mean sometimes.
Well, Vesper
I
was
mean,
double guessing, second guessing. If no, True King of all calamities, VFD is banned.
I mean, the thing is like when you say the big rank 9, what other fucking thing do you think I mean? Like there aren't the mini rank 9s.
No, that's true.
There's a few other things I was thinking about. Fair.
And no, I don't think the new Dragon Ruler guys are like 7 base, and then they get wild. But yeah, so they could be. Let's just hope they're not 4s. There's a lot of different things they could do. We'll have to see like how it works. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like we only have vague concepts to go off of, and also I think the big reason that the K9 one is the bigger image of the 3 is just that it was the one I saw being pushed on socials, so that they just naturally have a
Yeah.
higher res image on hand.
But also, I will say we won't look at the cards yet. But one thing that is important is that Axe actually asked recently, like, oh, when do you think we'll be able to do the like Dia Bellstar, Goblin Biker lore cycle? Soon, because
Yeah, because they did the finale happened. Yeah.
yeah, the climax is going to be in Alliance Insight, so you've got
I
you know,
will
the
say I
big
was
finish
expecting.
cards.
I'll be real. I was expecting to have one more set or two before the actual end.
I don't know. They might do like a kind of postscript, but this is definitely like the big climactic final battle. Diabelle's gonna put on her dragon pants. White Force
Final
also
battle
gets
on bonkers.
White Force is also getting a field spell, which is very funny. But yeah, so that is something that's coming up. But before earlier, I was going to segue about, talking about, some of these decks will probably be good. This has been another thing that's been going around on Yugi Twitter lately. Paul from Team APS, I think, brought it up first, but there's a handful of other ones that have come up, like Peeps had a comment on this and some others, which is, I do think the question is phrased a little erroneously. It's got a little bit of like how do I want to say this? Not to be rude, but some of this discussion has a little bit of the TCG Western pilled mindset, because some people are phrasing this as, why does Konami release quote-unquote bad, or even, I would argue, like, mid-core cards? Why do they put cards in sets to either do legacy support or bring up new themes that are not going to beat Snake Eyes Azamina or Fiendsmith or whatever, right?
I guess it's because there's also a quota they have to do for Western sets amounts.
Well,
I mean,
that's
it's
the
not
thing,
even a
Axe.
quota.
Yes, Western sets are larger, and they do fill that with world premieres, but usually there's like 8 to 10 world premiere cards per set, and then another
and they're
10-ish
always
are packed in
side
with like imports and shit.
They're always side sets and cards we never get and like
There are
yes,
they
they're
have
larger.
gotten better about getting like bigger TCG like world premiere exclusive sets, like the Gate Guardian and Flame Swordsman and soon the Odeon stuff, like getting here first, which are kind of like mid-core as well. And you can question about who those are for. I will say, first of all, the Gate Guardian retrains are really good, especially if you do package them with a spicier engine. Same with Flame Swordsman. Peeps can't talk shit. He's playing Flame Swordsman Lab at locals. Which, by the way, is not a detriment to him. I think he's absolutely based for doing that. It's a crazy brew to play Flame Swordsman as a, like, control deck that turns into a big Bungulis at the end. It's real interesting. But the reason why Flame Swordsman and Gate Guardian retrains and Odeon exist is to sell to Nostalgia. That's Yugi Boomer shit. That's real easy. Like, why are we getting yet another Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck retrain? Nostalgia. That's why. That's because they're selling it to people who are not necessarily going to play at YCSs. But like I said, asking like, oh, why are the majority of our sets so big? And it's like, let me actually pull up a example. Because like some people have phrased this as like, oh, well, if it's going to be like this, why are we getting, 100 card sets and so on? I'm trying to remember which is the good Yugi Wiki. And yes, some of them are like pretty sizable that way. Let me compare, like, where's the actual... Oh, the latest sets doesn't help me. Because it's like, the latest OCG set is a premium pack. But, like, let's see. Core boosters. Let me just grab, like... Supreme Darkness is about to come out in the TCG, so let's see. Can I get a set list? So the Japanese list is how many? Like 60 cards? 80 cards. So it's 80 cards in Japanese, 81 because they've got a 0, and then the numbers in English go to 100. So they add 20 cards for TCG releases, and like I said, probably a little over half of those are going to be world premieres, either world premiere archetypes like Mitsurugi, or just world premiere just generic support. Some of which is good, by the way. Some of those cards matter. Necroquip Princess is actually like really important. But others are like imports. Like we're getting Perform Pal Sky Magician Girl, Detonating Karibo, Magistus Chorizo, shit like that over here. So it's like, so people are asking the question, right? Like, okay, why do we get, mid-tier card support like Argo Stars, like the hero cards, the Metalmorph stuff. The Metalmorph might be real. They keep getting better all the time. They've done another Red Eyes retrain.
This is something we talked about on the show before, in like a general sense, and it's while I understand the sentiment, not every card is designed for competitive play. This is the name of every card game.
Well, and I think some people are correctly turning this into, like, why doesn't, in the TCG format, Konami support more varied official formats? And yes, I agree with that. We should put pressure on Konami to, like
honestly,
come up with better draft rules or make Heart of the Underdog or whatever better supported.
I honestly, I think people have talked about this before. I think, like, the draft packs I think people have talked about the draft packs. If they make it now, it actually would sell.
Oh, yeah, no, if they actually brought battle packs back, that would probably work. Because
I would, because honestly, I would love to, like...
I think Simo and Douglas Zeef have really juiced drafting back into everybody's mindset.
But
yeah, it's honestly surprising how much the Yu-Gi tubing sphere has I don't even want to say, I don't mean this in a negative sense, wrought out people's brains to enjoy draft. Because like when Battle Pack was a thing, people hated it so much because they hated draft. They hated the idea of draft being this top cut format of, oh well, I think he did that himself at one point recently, where like, oh well, people don't people did not like the time when draft was like the top cut tournament because, oh well, this cool deck that was doing good just burned out in top cut because it burned out because the top cut was draft.
Yeah, and I know that Doug, for instance, Zeef, has talked about how he's like a battle pack truther because that used to be a controversial opinion, like standing up for battle pack. So yeah, we've really rotated it around. But like I said, a lot of people are like asking, like, oh, why does Konami print these? They're asking the wrong questions, I think, like I said, because yes, I do think Konami could be better about like getting into like Heart of the Underdog, like making that broader. Like the fact that at YCSs and stuff they've only ever had like side sets for like Time Wizard, like they've never tried to do a big tournament with like Heart of the Underdog or Common Charity. God forbid, Rivalry of Warlords, which is just also another name for like non-meta night.
I need to ask.
And even at that, Time Wizard has basically just been boiled down to Edison and Go.
They've had a couple of other big Time Wizard formats. What's up, X?
Has any card game ever just separated like most of their card pools by like what their power level are relatively?
Not really. I mean,
because I feel like if you kind of did something like that, you'd make it so at least more like this card's event for this kind of idea.
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah. That doesn't work with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because one of Yu-Gi-Oh's, I think, fundamental conceits now, 25 years in the third year of the 25th anniversary, is that any deck can be literally right around the corner. You just need to find the right complementary engine, you need to get the right legacy support, or you just need to find the right weird play, because this is something I've seen a lot of sentiment from Hardleg actually talking about, because he's been doing his Ladder Climb series. A lot of times, you can get very far in what is arguably a competitive format just based around the fact that your opponent doesn't know what the fuck your deck does. He just posted his Nemlaria Ladder Climb, which is a little different. I think he dead-ended somewhere in Diamond.
Yeah, this is...
But he started at like Bronze.
This is something that I experienced with when Cyframe topped an event, and this is something like, I'm not gonna act like I called it or anything, but I saw the Cyframe cards, I'm like, oh, these Synchro monsters are disgusting. And when when that set dropped, like I ran around like, hey, can I get your Omegas? Can I get your Zetas and stuff? And I mean, I missed Zeta, but Omega was an insane card, and was a meta-defining card for years. And when Cyframe got that top, the card shot up, and I would play Cyframe at locals. And the first month or so, the first month, 2-3 weeks, people had no concept of how to counter it because it played on such a bizarre axis. Even especially at the time, where cards like Torrential and on some trap effects were still like big cards people played. It was right before the stage where traps fell out of play. Cyframes were immune to it because of the chain resolution, and I would get called on in multiple times, but for the first week or two before, I'm like, this is just how that works. This is chain resolution. Like they get summoned in the resolution of the chain, so you can't chain to them hitting the board.
Yeah, you can't start a new chain to activate Torrential Tribute midway.
Yeah. Now you can Torrential Tribute on the synchro summons, but they can quick effect just bounce off the board at that point. So they're virtually immune to stuff like that. The only
But yeah,
card that
so
really
like
counters them is
there's a lot to be said for like you can get farther in Yu-Gi-Oh just playing that, and I genuinely think that like, and content creators probably don't realize this because they have to look in the mirror, kind of a thing. But like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh does have a genuine groupthink problem. And the other half of that might be that like the actual free thinkers like are hiding their tech in discords and shit. Which, to be fair, you're doing a professional scene.
And this is something
that's to be semi-expected,
that was the
even though I would like to point out that everybody bitches about how Yu-Gi-Oh prizing sucks. So like, you're literally being hyper competitive for nothing.
This is
not
even
that,
the
like,
case for
shouldn't have better
Yu-Gi-Oh in the early days, like
What?
pre-Discord and all this stuff, where in the age of Hoban, like the all the top guys would hide their tech, even at some point would more or less leak fake information of, oh, this deck's gonna be sick, this deck's gonna be crazy, to smoke screen like, this other deck though is gonna counter that.
Yeah, because wasn't there this whole wasn't there like a month-long smoke screen about Sylvan?
I don't remember if that was actually a psyop or not, but it could have been. Is the problem?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
a thing in like the half the King book or something.
The thing about it is, like I said, is that I think some of this is just people don't realize that Yu-Gi-Oh is at its core. The 80 cards that are in an OCG set are for the OCG market, which means that they are designed where, we've talked about this before, locals and local style events are much more common. You are getting much fewer tournaments that are going to be like YCS level. A lot of things are more, much more on the scale of like regionals and the old like, I think the old Shonen Jump championships were more like YCS level, but like championship series and WCQs, right, are big deal tentpoles here, and we have a lot of them because the TCG needs to cover a lot of the globe. In Japan, they're much more at the locals and then again the regional scale level, where you have people out here in the TCG saying, oh, regionals don't count because you can get a regional with like 60 people or something. Well, guess what, guys? That's what those decks are for. Those decks are for you to go to your quote-unquote local regionals that has like exactly 64 people in at it and clear up with something weird. That the Yu-Gi-Oh as a card game is not actually designed for you guys to be playing best of the best, you know, we've got 2,000 guys in a hotel somewhere. Like, obviously, that means that if you do want to make it to the top cut of a YCS, you want to be in, you know, top 128, you know, God forbid, you know, top 4 kind of shit. You have to be playing the best of the best decks. But I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is actually designed that way, is what I want to say. Like, cards like the Arcana Force and the Hero Support, those are designed for bat chest classics for people to take them up as local legends or as even, I don't know, an alliteration with the R in regional. But, like, nobody should be shocked if you see some posts from, like, YGOPro.com or anything like that about, like, you know, the so-and-so regional in Snargsverse, Ohio, Evil Hero top, right? Nobody should be shocked about that when Supreme Darkness comes out. That kind of shit. And nobody usually is. But if you look at, like, Road to the King, right, you see OCG top metas. Usually there's a couple of decks in Top Cut that are weird, right? Like, we've talked about some weird shit, like the Grass Tier Bish Adventurer and other weird shit. Like, there's some really weird stuff in the OCG meta because their format is usually a little lower stakes and a little closer together. So, like, I do think that like there is a productive conversation to be had about being like, well, Konami should like make this medium core tier more a part of their big tournaments. They should have more side events in general at YCSs, and it maybe shouldn't just be the flavor of the week Time Wizard. But also, like I said, I think generally a lot of it has to do with just people in the audience are not realizing that, like, Yu-Gi-Oh's not a format designed... Like the people who are designing Yu-Gi-Oh cards are not designing every single card in the format to necessarily be, like, the top 1%er. Like, people at home, it's okay. You're allowed to play Tier 2 and Tier 3 decks. You're allowed to do that. You're supposed to want to do that. I don't necessarily think, this goes into my other comment about how, like, yes, I think we should legitimately complain that Konami has and for many years had a very bad rarity bump problem that's awful. But also, I would like to bring up, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players clearly have no force of will. They have no cojones to actually force Konami to change anything in the interim. And I think a decent number of people are either not getting into the game or bouncing out of the game because the price after a while. But that's after, like, you know, a year or two of being ground down by really expensive decks and staples. If you guys had just showed solidarity the first time, we wouldn't have this problem. Like, Konami may have actually had to change their mind a couple of years ago, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Players love to bitch about being forced to buy X number of format-defining staples, or, oh, we're releasing the top new best cut deck, and it's all secret rares that are super expensive. But guess what? Don't play those. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying you got to pay $100 per Molcharmi. And yes, obviously, it sucks for you to go to, like, a super high-level tournament like a YCS and get blasted out because your opponent is a bougie fuck who can afford Molcharmies. This is why I say we should also maybe have some you know, some social thought about maybe we should not encourage players to buy these super expensive cards either, let alone ourselves. But, like, genuinely, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is designed to be that way, you know? Like, you should be able to just pass. And, like, this is the other thing that I was like, I'm so shocked that people were so mad at Tenpai, because Tenpai is a true head-empty, no-thought budget deck. It was like, and it was not a bulletproof deck. It got better if you could combine it with super expensive hand traps. But let me tell you, you probably don't need to be playing 3 Molcharmi or 3 Maxi and Tenpai to kick most people's ass. I did not draw Maxi while Tenpai was full power in Master Duel a lot. So, like, it's helped by expensive staples, but not required. So, yeah, it's just one of those weird things where, like, it's funny to me how much that, like, while I agree with a lot of underlying points, I feel like every time one of these big sweeping discussions comes up in Yu-Gi-Oh!, it also says a lot about the people asking the questions, that they're like, you know, who are these decks made for? Well, if you are out here just to win YCSs, the decks are not for you. But unless you want to just play a deck you like, as opposed to playing whatever's quote-unquote the best. Let me drink some water. And pull up some Balatro cards, because I realized I've been yapping about this for 30 minutes, and I'm sorry. But not that sorry. But yeah, like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussions, I'm a little sorry, but regret is for horseshoes and hand grenades.
No, regret's already dead. We killed him.
I mean, regret's also for streamers. And presenters.
Regret really should be for streamers, but I don't... there's a lot of problem. This is a separate conversation that I really don't need to get into, but there's a problem where some streamers don't have regret.
I mean, yes, but
you should have a little bit.
Saying
People probably can't tell because I'm sick and sound awful and am very neutral. I apologize for the Wanted that's gonna come out tonight at like midnight or whatever for Tezcatlipoca, where I'm like,
I enjoyed it to be like, it's just actually 5 guys. It's just 5 guys.
Yeah, no, it's a very fun one, but I also apologize for that one if I sound really low energy. Once again, sick. I tried to bring some extra oomph into it, but I know I'm a little quieter. Also, yes, Loth has been here for like 20 minutes, but he didn't have anything to say about me yelling about Yu-Gi-Oh! Nerds.
Well, I've tried to say a few things, just comments, but you know, can't really get it out. And also, what would I have to say to interrupt you? Because why would I interrupt you when you're already on like a huge binge?
That's fair. I appreciate that, Loth. You see that I'm in a rabbit hole, and you're like, I'm just gonna wait for him to get out of there.
Eventually, he'll play himself.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
Fucking left, of course.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna...
It's fine.
One minor sidebar. The last 30 minutes, I've been trying to open a tube of gummies. It would not
Yeah,
open.
okay. Thank you, Max. I was thinking the same thing, a tube.
A tube?
They are gummies with things in them, okay? That's all I'll say.
Sure.
It's legal. Whatever.
Also, similarly, if anyone can see it right now, can just got me as a friend on Steam. I have booted up. I have bit the bullet. I have bought Balatro.
Yeah, that's what I was
Balatro's
gonna that's what I was going to say earlier. When I introduced that you were here to the people at home, is that now there are 4 people who play Balatro in this call.
Now I can contribute because I've seen these cards actually.
Yeah, these ones are.
And
Yeah, I decided to pull up 3 to start. One, because we need to get a little faster when ripping through these cards. But our next 3 in a row are all money based. So
But
Yes.
to finish my quick little sidebar,
yeah, go.
I've been trying to open it for the last 30 minutes while talking with us. You gave up. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna ask someone else to open this for me. Long story short, the seal was just broken, and we had to like get pliers to open the fucking thing up.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Yeah, I was losing my mind for 30 minutes. I'm like, this hat, like I've opened these like 20 times before. There's nothing. It's not a me thing. It has to be a tube thing.
it's a tube.
The true.
But yes, here are our econ jokers. We have a good one, an alright one, and a funny one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so from did I actually arrange? No, it's not from right to left. I look at this now and I realize I've arranged this like an animal. This is out of order. The middle one, which is number 82, is reserved parking. Each face card held in hand has a 1 in 2 chance to give you $1.
Ironically,
which
you
is-
actually play it with the bus. Ironically, because
Well, yeah, it's better that way because you get to you have a better chance because by not playing the face cards to get them. I will say this one's a little because I'm like looking at the math. It costs $6 normally, so for it to pay itself off, you've got to get a 50-50 on up to 6 face cards. But depending on what you are doing, you may be hoarding those face cards for something, so it can work out after a while.
Yeah, like reserve parking is one of those jokers that, in terms of econ jokers, it's probably my least favorite.
I mean,
Because
if you I'm sorry.
It falls into one of those weird things where like you have to have already been playing into something like have we covered the Queen in Hand Joker yet? I've lost track of where some.
No,
Sure
I
we
don't
did
think
last time.
Did we do that one last? Because we
we
did.
Because we did the Duke. I know that.
Yeah,
much.
Baron has been covered already. Each king in
No,
hand.
We
gives
covered the
you,
Baron, then we covered that one. Like you kind of already have to be playing towards a Baron or Queen Joker to kind of to have that thing fully proc off. And I mean, it's fine, but these other 2 are definitely more on the realm of versatility jokers. Like
And keep in mind, reserve parking it's a 50-50 chance to give you the $1 too, so it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Whereas the next 2 are guaranteed money. Mail-in rebate gives you $5 for each card of a discarded rank, which changes every round. This one is not a like obviously. This is funny. This is something Axe talked to me on stream when I streamed Balatro once of like, oh, you've got mail-in rebate. Why aren't you discarding more? I'm like, well, because I'm working on other shit. Depending on what hands you're making, you may not want to just discard shit just for $5. But it only
do
costs
believe-
$4. So
yes, but I'll say this, in some cases, if you're not gonna worry about something that doesn't use discards, why not use all your discards?
I don't like to use all my discards. That's a resource.
Well, why did you just never use any of them ever?
That's absolutely not true. I use my discards a shitload.
the thing with mail-in
Discourse.
rebate that's interesting to point out. There are 2 versions of this kind of Joker, where it's a random thing that's determined every round.
Yeah.
This is in the first category of it is determined by the cards in your deck. So like the more copies you have of a certain card, the more likely it is to do it. The same as when we'll get to later the idol.
Okay, so that's good. So yeah, no. This is one that, like I said, at the very least, unlike reserved parking, you do mail-in rebate once, it's paid for itself.
Yeah.
Like is a good factor to think of. So like it's even if you're not using it right away, so long as you use it occasionally, you're making a net positive. And
It's probably the best econ Joker to get early game. I would say.
because you just apply it whenever you need it. And the last one is the curve one, is To the Moon. Which what could that be referencing?
GameStop.
This one gives you an extra $1 of interest for every $5 you have at the end of the round. That is one of the mechanics I don't think
besides it being like a stock, besides it being like a stock sheet, I don't understand the To the Moon bit.
Oh well, Vesper did
the Moon
actually
is
say it. That was not a joke. Actually, that was unironically. It's from when GameStop stock was ironic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that like the subreddits that kind of pushed the GameStop stock to go super high, like talked about to the moon and stuff like that.
But also like to the moon is just a general phrase used of like saying, oh, we're sending something to the top. Like it's a generic phrase, but it definitely was
I think
GameStop joke.
I think it probably got started by Investor Bros, if only because the only other context I know about to the moon is that fucking sitcom guy who's threatening to punch his wife to the moon.
There's one other reference that I will use in wrestling.
Oh, okay. It's a wrestling thing.
To the moon is usually a phrase reserved for like when we're giving someone a super push, like literally strap a rocket to this guy, shoot him to the moon. Like we are putting this guy.
Okay, over. I absolutely believe. No offense meant to Vesper or anybody else who enjoys wrestling, but I absolutely believe that Investor Bros would steal a wrestling term.
Oh yeah,
that sounds like an absolute correct thing. So. Yeah, no, that is probably it. That is the wrestling variant. Okay, so that's when somebody's super pushed. This is the thing.
Yeah,
I gotta keep using this in. By the way, let me plug. Absolutely no need to do this, but I do want them to continue making this series. So please watch Save Data Team's Save Data Bio, where they review Naruto arcs one at a time.
Save Data Bio is so good.
It's so funny.
So
I can't wait.
What's the last one? What's the last one they've done?
They're editing the Find Tsunade arc right
Retrieval.
now.
Yeah,
Tsunade Retrieval.
I have watched the VOD of that. I cannot wait for the edit of that for all of the bits they've.
Yes, that's what I mean. I'm waiting for the edit as well. I did also watch the VOD, but that's a great series.
No liar.
But you should watch it. But me watching that has completely changed how I talk about anime, because it clicked to me so hard. I think in the first one, or maybe it was the Chunin exam ones, where it was like
it was definitely the Zabuza one, because the Zabuza one just goes full in on all the wrestling talk.
Yeah, that's right. Because I said that, like, I'm not a wrestling guy, but the way one of the hosts described just the characters talking themselves up and moving their personal plots forward as cutting a promo, and I'm just like, that is just what anime. No, when
I mean, look at
the one from the Chunin exams is when Kakashi turns to Orochimaru and is just like, man, if you come in here, boy, one of us is gonna die. I'm like, that is just he literally is just cutting a wrestling promo. Nobody else is here. He's just doing that for the camera.
I have quite literally had a separate conversation with Zach about wrestling in the same Data server now. It's great.
Crazy.
I guess I'll have to go. Just someone DM me the playlist later. I'll watch it I'll listen to it during work.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're very long too. So yeah,
I could probably get like 3 days of.
For the sake of it, I'll probably dump it in the YouTube chat after I pull it up. But let me
play already
Yoker.
I've already got it going. I was trying to find the playlist.
Because our next Yoker is a different one. Also, actually, I forgot. I was going to mention. Sorry, I got distracted by the other discussion. But I don't think we explicitly explained interest. But basically, normally you earn 1 buckaroonie for every 5 buckaroonies you have in your pocket, up to, is it $20 or $25?
25.
25.
Max
Yeah,
size normally.
Up to 25.
There's ways to change that, but
there's a version that makes it 50, and the second one that makes it 100, I believe. Is that right?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. It runs
this asshole.
20.
But To the Moon basically doubles the amount you're earning from interest. So yeah, that's another good one to like get in early if you've got some interest, because it can really juice your ass up. Oh, also, actually, Vesper clipped some trivia to share with me. I should mention, check out the description of this video. This is real trivia I got from the wiki that is sourced. If you don't know, Jimbo has a real name.
Yeah, I saw.
He's Gary McCready. He's from Logansport, Indiana. He's a big fan of the Pacers, and Jimbo is forklift certified.
Hell yeah, baby.
That sounds like his dating profile intro.
That would be
Kind
what
of
Jimbo would put
does.
in his dating profile.
You know what? I gotta bow down. That was a good one.
That wasn't me being a joke. That was just my observation, which I guess can be funny.
Yeah.
It's just like that's what it sounds like.
I've linked in the YouTube chat the first.
Then again, if I ever go on a dating website and see that the person is forklift certified,
I mean, it's a good joke.
whole playlist, but did my message not go through?
I don't see him.
I got it. I got
yeah,
it.
I'm in live chat.
Thank you.
YouTube is weird about links sometimes, so it may have
Yeah.
like auto-filtered you.
Could be a mod thing.
But yeah, so we've pulled up hallucination. So it's a Jimbo that is being hallucinified, I guess. He's not as abstract as the abstract Joker, but he's real weird.
He's the in between of Jimbo and abstract Joker.
Ah, yes, the transition frame. But what this one does is, this is another fitty. It's a 1 in 2 chance that whenever you open any booster pack, you create a tarot card. Actually, and I just realized the next one in sequence does go with this, so I'll pull that one up too while we talk about hallucination.
Yeah, I do like hallucination personally. It's one of those Jokers where if you have room and if you're far ahead into a build already, like early on, you can just throw it in your inventory, open packs, like rip packs, and just try to hit that 50-50.
Yeah. Because it's every booster pack you open, so card packs, Joker packs, Arcana packs, any of them is a 50% chance.
Doctor did you have the astrology Joker that makes planet packs free, and this is just an auto take.
Yeah, I know, because it's just like... Because you won't say no to more tarot cards, especially if you do have what is, in fact, the next Joker in the line, the Fortune Teller.
One of my favorites because it's one of I think the easiest and I think most direct ones you can. It's sometimes like it's also sometimes the least expensive one. You can just keep stacking. It's it's way less annoying than the Green Joker and better than I forget the name of the Joker, but the one you get from doing rerolls in the shop. That one's also decent, but you need a good economy for that one.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think this one is
Fortune Teller
comparable with I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head because it's a lot similar. But
Swashbuckler.
No, because that's the sell value, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I thought that's what you were.
No. What I was gonna say was, there's a similar Joker which is +1 mult every time you use a planet card.
Oh, it's plus 0.1 times mult for every planet card used the constellation.
Yeah, constellation. Yeah. So it's not exactly the same because this is flat. That's times, but very similar vibes of like both those are really good because, like I said, Fortune Teller is just +1 mult. Per tarot card used in the run.
Yeah, well, that's what separates this from Constellation is Fortune Teller will constantly scale in the background, whereas Constellation will only scale once you buy it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of those ones we've talked about, which are very important but also harder to set up. The times mult ones usually only start counting when you get them. Fortune Teller and a couple of others are in the background.
The only one that doesn't is Steel Joker. Which is affected by cards in your deck.
Yeah. But yeah, our boy Fortune Teller is very stonks.
Yeah, Fortune Teller. Fortune Teller is one of those Jokers that because it scales per run, it scales for the run. Just if you end up in just a super rich econ build, if you hit Fortune Teller mid game and it's like plus 40 mult and you have decent times, you're like, oh shit, I'll just that's my flat mult Joker now.
Yeah.
That's just that's all my problems.
Just go for it.
So long as you have been using tarot cards, which you will probably be using some amount of them, and then, God help you if you're doing a tarot card build, like with Fortune Teller and something like Hallucination, sometimes you'll just use tarot cards to use tarot cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? Joker into what was it? The one that gives 2?
Emperor.
Not Joker. The Fool into the one that gives 2. Yeah.
Emperor gives 2 random, Fool copies the last one you play. So you can do Emperor into Fool, Fool into Emperor, play the other tarot,
I love
Emperor into
so
2
much.
more.
Yeah,
you just gotta balance it out because sometimes you don't always have the extra enough slots, usable slots for it.
But you can make it work,
Yeah, sometimes you just get like a suit Joker. And you're like, well, I have Fortune Teller, so I'm just gonna change my spades to spades because it's funny.
Yeah, and like I said, when you've got the fortune teller, they don't hurt. Got another.
Our next two. Did we already talk about Juggler and Drunkard? I feel like we talked about them.
I think we mentioned them in passing, but we don't actually talk about the art style. So first is Juggler, and next is Drunkard. But they are, like I said, they are thematically, visually similar, and kind of have similar effects. So this is I like the style of these because this is a style which is much more like the Jokers you usually see in playing cards these days. Yeah. But, Drunkard is juggling a bottle, and Juggler is juggling balls. But what these do
Juggler gets +1 hand size, and Drunkard gets +1 discard each round.
Yep. Both are net positives, but also they're one of those things where +1 discard isn't going to give you enough hand fixing to clear high level rounds. Neither will +1 hand size. So they're good utility jokers to have. They are both commons that are available.
Juggler is one of those utility jokers that if you have something like the aforementioned Baron or the Queen Joker, I'm trying to think of what she's called now because I feel crazy that I don't remember.
We'll
her name.
find her eventually. I don't think we actually we did talk about Baron last time, but we didn't.
I just used her in my run. I can't remember it sadly.
Oh, hey Omega. This is the other Joker name. This is Shoot the Moon, which I assume is a reference to One of These Days, Straight to the Moon.
Ah, yeah.
But Shoot the Moon. If you have one of those, if you have a Joker that plays off of cards in hand, sometimes having the Juggler as an extra Joker as a Joker in your rotation isn't bad if you can keep the pace.
And honestly, just in general, depending on what you're doing, having extra hand size is not a bad thing because it will make it more likely that you can string together some of your big hands, like a really big flush or straight, or God forbid, get
flush five, flush house, every 5 of a kind. If you're playing one of those, if you're playing a build that resolves around always needing big hands, +1 hand size is also good.
Yeah, because it draws more cards out of your deck, lets you hold more cards in hand, so you can cycle more. But it's also, like I said, if you're staring down the wall, Juggler will not save you unless you've already got something else going on. So good to have, but can't lock in your round.
This card Joker plays incredibly well with one of the legendaries.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's fine. It's good.
It is good, but there are also
Jokers.
If you can afford them, there are vouchers that give you that too.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones that's not necessary but is fun. The next Joker is I like the effect on because it's the Stone Joker. Not to be confused with the Marble Joker, the Stone Joker, which is Jimbo printed on a stone card.
The winner, if you the Medusa deck, you just win with this one.
Yeah.
That's a modded deck. That's not real.
Okay, if you're doing the Medusa challenge, this is just a winner.
Well, also just in general, this can be a winner. Get this with the Marble Joker that creates a stone every time you did that. That I think was a successful run I had. Because Stone Joker gives you +25 chips for every stone card in your full deck. This is available from the start, but you can't find it in the store unless you already have a stone card. But yeah, just chips for stone.
This is a Joker that I have feelings about because I've always felt, personally, that stone cards are the weakest of the modifications.
They are. They always score, though, is the bit I guess.
I mean, they do always score, but I don't know.
Stone can work in certain brews, but like I said, this card on its own probably isn't crazy, but if you combine it with something else can be really strong. Like I said, there is the Marble Joker that every time you pick a blind, you add a stone to your deck, which means your Stone Joker literally gets 25 chips every time you do anything. So that can really start gassing you up. And I guess if you just play a stone card by itself, that counts as a high card, right?
It's just a high card.
So if you did a high card build, that could also work. There's room to make it work. I would not play Stone Joker in a vacuum.
I've only played it when the Medusa challenge, where it gives you you have Eternal Marble Joker as your first Joker.
Yeah, like I said, I
And,
found the combo wild, but it's
Ironically, you can play 5 stone cards, and it counts still has high card because they're not real.
yeah. They don't. I mean, they don't count as having
rocks.
a suit or rank. Yeah,
They're just rocks.
but that does mean that if your high card multiplier is good, you'll you can get more out of it.
Yeah,
But like I said, this Stone Joker is
definitely-
cool, but it's not. I would not pick up Stone Joker in a vacuum, right?
I can definitely see the sauce of like Stone Joker, Marble Joker, Hiker, and like something like the Hanging Chad to just facilitate more scaling off the Hiker. Hiker Hanging Chad just being a crazy combo.
A literal caveman Balatro deck. No thought, head empty, only rock.
Play biggest rock, get rock bigger.
Who cares? Who cares about poker hands and math? Throw rocks. But
Basic.
that, like you said, that requires cooking. You have to like see the jokers and start setting up. This will not save you if you're just playing normal Balatro. You gotta combo with something else.
And the problem then is getting that exact combo of jokers in a run.
Yeah, you gotta be out there preaching. Now we've got, I'm very surprised this is so late in the lineup. We talked about it, I think, alluded to it last stream, but it's the Golden Joker. The most, I think, simple of the Econ Jokers. Get paid $4 at the end of every round. He costs $6 and is a common, so if you play 2 rounds, he's paid off with interest and just keeps going.
Gold Joker is like, it's not for mail and rebate. Or Cloud9. It's one of the just the best consistent econs.
Yeah, like it will never get bigger on its own, but flatly, it just is, as we said, real consistent, real efficient to just go, okay, time to make $4 every round.
If you get that early on, that can be your first Joker for the first ante or so, because you can clear the first ante just shotgunning flushes and full houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, you do need to get those though, because honestly, it's rough otherwise. But it usually only costs 6. So
it's a good solid start. One of those ones that's just. Again, we've talked a lot. There are jokers that, especially if they're free, but even if they cost a little bit, that are just like, oh, I have like 1 or no jokers. We'll just pick it up and get started. Golden Joker's absolutely one of that, where it's just like, well, we're early, might as well, free money. Next, we have another one that's one of those like build definers. It's the Lucky Cat.
Lucky Cat is the GOAT.
A joker that is indeed a Lucky Cat.
I always forget this one exists.
Well, this is one of
this
those
is
ones
it.
that it is available at all time, but it only appears in the shop once you have a lucky card, period. So you will not always see it.
I like lucky cards a lot, though.
Yeah. We talked about it last time, but to remind everybody, a lucky card is a card that has a special modifier to have a chance to either be was it
It's
10?
1 in 5 for plus 20 mult, or 1 in 15 for $20, and both can hit at the same time. They are separate. They are separate dice rolls.
So this is a mult, a times mult joker that gains times 0.25 every time a lucky card triggers, starting at times 1.
And it will count 2 triggers as 0.5 mult.
Yeah.
I really should try to do a lucky card build and then just try to get the dice and this at the same time.
The lucky card build can break the game early enough. Just like I mean, again, like I'm gonna hammer to death. Any retrigger Joker is insane for lucky card. It's lucky cat, like hack, hanging Chad, fucking buskin. Anything that gives you more chances to trigger lucky cards and roll that dice makes lucky cat broken.
Because the thing is that even if your lucky card doesn't score, you still get your times mult. It goes up when it scores, so that means that like even if you're not activating your lucky cards, Lucky Cat is not like dead in your hand. It just only grows when you do it, but means that when you start triggering those a lot, you will go ape because it is a relatively small probability. It gains 0.25 every time. This means if you play, hypothetically, you play one pair of lucky cards. If they both double trigger, this is already times 2 molt.
Yeah, and it's like the ultimate lucky card build is like flush 5 of the kind of stuff like that, where you're shotgunning 5 lucky cards and just rolling dice over and over and over again.
And basically, what you should learn from this chat in our discussion is that, in general, your high scale Balatro builds do not involve a lot of thinky man technical play. It involves figuring out how to make the biggest fuck you multiplier ever, and then playing the most dirt simple hands ever.
Yeah.
I mean, to make a joke of a build that I posted last night, I had a build that you can scroll up in the games and look at it, where early on my Joker setup looked like absolute dog water, like just the most insufferable looking hand, and then it just turned into photo chat with hearts, and it worked.
Oh man, like where is it? I remember I thought I got like a really good like set of Jokers, and then I just got fucked by the boss blind going, oh yeah, these suits? No.
Yeah, Smear Joker and Idol, which is a crazy combo. But problem with Smear Joker, if you hit a blind that disables 1 suit, that disables 2 suits.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. You just activated full hearts mode.
Yeah, I found the image.
Yeah, and early on, I did have a wild looking run of like the Spade Joker, Astrologer, Reserve Parking. He's negative, so it's fine. Cloud9, Scary Face, Photograph and Shoot the Moon. But then I found Photo Chat and said, well, I have a build now. I've got a winning build now. Let's streamline.
Now this next Joker, I don't know if is a winning build, but it's certainly a guy. It's the baseball card.
Trust me, it can be.
Okay.
It can be.
I said, I was trepidatious myself because I've never had a winning baseball card build, but it's one of those ones that you read and you're like, this is probably something.
The fun of baseball card. The fun of baseball card is figuring out its order of triggering. I believe the way it works. I'm gonna look it up to double check. It triggers after the uncommon Joker's effect. So it incentivizes you to learn the ordering of your Jokers to maximize the 0.1 the times multi it gives. Sorry.
It's also just as many uncommons you can get, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't say what it did yet, but baseball card means that your uncommon Jokers, which it is not, by the way, it's a rare Joker, each give times 1.5 molt.
They call it the polychrome effect.
Yeah.
And I mean to give a few rundowns. Lucky Cat is an uncommon Joker. The next handful of Jokers we're going to talk about that are all pretty good are uncommon Jokers. So
literally the wiki page has like luck-based builds can use baseball card to great effect. You can use Oops All Sixes, which is the one that doubles probability. I don't think we've talked about it yet, but get Jokers like Bloodstone and Lucky Cat because they're all uncommon.
Yeah. Lucky Cat's uncommon Joker. Have you talked about Bloodstone yet?
No, that series is soon, but not yet.
Okay.
Basically, there's like a retrained version of all the suit-specific Jokers later, which are interesting.
Yeah, and a Bloodstone, I would say, is the best or the worst.
It's the chance one, so yeah.
It's 50-50, baby. So we're going gambling.
Let's go gambling.
But yeah,
so baseball is absolutely very workable.
Baseball card 100% has some builds you can theme around it. And even then, I believe Brainstorm.
Brainstorm is compatible with.
Well, I know it's compatible. I'm trying to figure out if it's rare, and so is Brainstorm. But if all your other Jokers are uncommon and you have a blueprint, that's now times 0.5 molt twice or thrice.
Fuck you, Wheel of Fortune. No. It procced. It made a Joker I was wanting to sell a holographic.
This is why you sell the Jokers that you don't want when you Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, sadly.
Not only is it a 25% chance, it's now a 20% chance on the Joker you wanted to hit.
I have a holographic Vagabond.
Hey, just be broke. But yeah.
Yeah, squeeze that as much as you can, really. Yeah.
Baseball Joker's good.
Yes, baseball card.
It's definitely like one of the best Jokers that is incredibly unfinicky and can just not work in half your builds.
Yeah,
but it can be stupid.
It's one of those ones that, like, if you want to do the baseball card build, you got to start, like, working at it. Make sure you're picking up uncommon Jokers.
Yeah.
But it's a tough one. Speaking of uncommon Jokers, our next one, Bull. Which
And
is a
speaking
Joker
of
with a
market
bull.
Jokers,
This gives you...
stock market Jokers, I mean.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Because this gives you +2 chips, or scores +2 chips for each $1 you have. I'm going to be honest. There are times when I've had a shitload of money for, like, a lot of chips. But usually, I would not be in a position where I would be picking up the bull. Like, I have a lot of money because I already have a really good setup of Jokers.
The Bull Joker is something you pick up if you have, like, obviously, one, have the space. Two, if you've already built up a build centered around Econ. And one very funny deck to play it in is Anaglyph. Because with Anaglyph deck, all you need is a handful of double tags, and you need to find the double money voucher. And now your bull gives 5,000 chips.
Yeah, that's true. That would be another good one. Or God forbid because I think that's double compatible. The one that's like give you $25 when you beat the boss blind.
Tags, not seals, but either way.
Yeah. But there's one tag you can get that's gives you +$25 when you clear the boss blind. You double that like 50 times or whatever. And
we're not going to get into tags too much, but there is a tag when you skip a blind that says doubles your money, max of 40.
Yeah.
And if you have 1 billion double tags, you skip, and then we're rich. We're rich.
And actually, let's go ahead and pair that with our
Eat the rich.
next Joker once I've got it copied as well, because this is another one that's kind of funny, but is literally related to the double tag, because it's the Cola.
Yeah, and the Cola's another very funny Joker where, if you got the money, spend it and drink it.
Yeah, so the Diet Cola, sell this card to create a free double tag. It is worth $6 on its own, but obviously you're going to get, like, half that back because you sell it.
It's $6 for a double tag, which really isn't that bad. Or if you're if you've gotten the voucher to make shit cheaper, this is way worth it.
Yeah. Also, it is an uncommon Joker, so funnily enough, you could just, not that you need to, but you could just sit it in your hand if you've got the baseball card and have it generate mults until you want to sell it.
I've had an incredibly funny run where I found a negative Cola with baseball card, and I'm like, I guess I'll keep you. Sure.
I mean, yeah, that's just a free times 1.5 mults, literally free.
Yeah,
There's no reason not to.
And if you're desperate for something you want to double, you can just pitch it then.
Yeah, like if I end in a situation where I do really, really want the tag, I can sell it, but it's negative, so there's no penalty.
I think we did talk about the gift card already, the one that raises the sell price every round.
Yeah.
So that also synergizes really well with this, just because just hold until you need it. But yeah, the Diet Cola is one of those really weird ones that's like, you're buying it for a very specific bonus that triggers when you sell it, because it does nothing in hand on its own.
Well, and honestly, if you have no reason to hang on to it, like the baseball card, you buy it, sell it. There's no point to hang on to it really, unless, well, I guess there is one specific boss blind that you would hang on to it for if you see it coming, which is the all cards debuff until one Joker's sold, which I think I've also done with the Cola one time.
Yeah. That one's fucking stupid.
It's a very silly Joker. It's a very silly run, but sometimes just find a negative Joker slot or get an ectoplasm to make your Joker negative, so you have a free slot, and just buy the first shitty pile of shit you see, just to sell it. Who cares?
So now
trading
speaking
card.
of cards that are from other cards. This is trading card. So
Hey,
by the way,
we're
this
playing
one's very funny to think about, because this is clearly a reference to like investor bros in the trading card space. If the first discard of a round has only one card, you destroy that card, removing it forever, but earn $3. meaning that it pays for itself with a couple of discards. But also, like, I don't know what format of, like, trading card this is based on.
It doesn't. I don't think there's a specific one. It's just like, oh well, it's like the Magic the Gathering,
Local Fuck just found kind of like the vague platonic ideal of a trading card. He's got a couple different colors in there. He's got like a little thingy at the top. He's got like box text for his effects. You can see that it's
11 out of 96.
Yeah.
There's a swirl of the colors in the corner as like, oh, maybe like this is his attribute.
Yeah.
But
and he's got a background like he's on a foil printing. It's also very funny, by the way, that this is 11 out of 96 when this is Joker number 95. It's very funny to me.
Yeah.
This is another one of those econ Jokers that's funny. It can pay for itself back, but you gotta be careful.
I would say, while this is not the best econ Joker, this is the best deck fixing Joker. That's also an econ Joker. So it kind of like it rides this line of being better than mail-in rebate, but not for the econ purposes.
Yeah, it will take you 2 whole rounds for it to pay for itself because it's $6 usually. The main thing is, if you've got cards you want to get rid of in your deck, which usually you do, that in deck-based roguelikes, that's usually something you want to do is slim down a little bit.
Any form of deck fixing by card destruction is always worth going for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing that can happen in a game like this is you draw cards you don't want to see. And if you're playing especially if you're playing a build that revolves around 3, 4, 5 card hands, you want trading card because
basically think of it this way, chat. And I'll admit I don't always think of it this way, but the best way to think of it is if you're not playing a specific card like Hack or something, you probably want to yeet all of your low rank cards in the deck anyway because they are literally lower scoring. And if you are playing something like Hack or something that's very specifically tuned to very specific numbers, then you want to get rid of things that are not those numbers because, admittedly, it's not always able to set this up, but in a perfect world, every Balatro hand you played is being scored by your special jokers. That is the ideal universe. Obviously, we know that's harder than it sounds, but trading card will help you do that.
Say you have a Bloodstone, so I want to get rid of my spades and clubs, and eventually Diamond says maybe I'll get a Smear Joker, or maybe I have an Ancient Joker, and I'm like, okay, well I can kind of like thin out my deck, so I'm getting more likely to I'm gonna have less versions of my suits, so I can get to when I'm discarding to thin out, I can get to my suits faster.
And I mean, we've talked about this. These are there are literally the special decks that are unlocked later that have this kind of deck fixing built in. You know, there's the checkered deck that's made up of just spades and hearts. There's the abandoned deck that has no face cards. Like, this is a premium factor you can get to just get a guy who does, you know, this factor. So it can be well worth it.
This is something about Balatro that I love, and it's the reason I come back to play it all the time, because there are these kinds of jokers and builds that was it Saturday that I had the run that got to like E15 levels of scoring or something?
Yeah, something like that. It was over the weekend. And yes, if you didn't see in games, Vesper got a score in a blind that was in scientific notation.
Yes.
Oh,
It gets there, yes.
You can get to a point of scoring where the game just gives up on saying how much you scored and just says, you're a billion.
We have to use scientific notation. Yeah, that one was, let me see, you've got Smeared, a negative constellation, with a blueprint and a brainstorm.
What was it? I think it was RT Game. He played a spectral card, or did some nonsense, and his thing was it just said null.
Yeah, that can also happen.
So next, the flash card.
Here we go. Here is the run.
on, I suppose get the picture. This is the one we talked about earlier when talking about scaling mults. This flashcard gets +2 mults every time you use a reroll in the shop.
Can
But
be
it's
very good.
Not retro.
It's very expensive. Obviously, unless you get the voucher, that makes reruns cheaper. Have you noticed a pattern with some of these jokers where yes, on paper they sound bad, but there's always something to make them work. Generally.
Yeah, we're at the stage where usually, since we are now like over the hump of halfway, if you're finding a joker and you're like, well, that sounds like usually there's some kind of condition that makes it better.
Yeah.
So flashcard's one of those ones that's like, I would say not as good as Fortune Teller because tarot's like literally tarot cards can be free sometimes. Sometimes you skip a blind and open like a big Arcana pack or something. You know, like real easy to get it to scale. This means you kind of gotta like double dip a little because you got to be buying rerolls regularly, which scale up every time in shop. So
they scale by $1 every time. But in a perfect world where you get the 2 reroll vouchers, it now starts at $1. So, you can definitely get a lot more rerolls out of it if you can get the reroll vouchers and the flash card.
And the important thing to remember is that this one is +2 per reroll used in a shop. While it is not retroactive, like we said, it scales faster, so you don't have to do as much.
But yeah, I don't know if you want to pull up the run that I sent, so we can kind of like we can glance at a game of Balatro for 5 seconds.
Yeah, okay.
The insanity of Balatro in the top tiers of finding builds going on.
Jesus Christ. I say that because it looks like I'm just staring at fucking nonsense with those jokers.
That's Balatro, baby.
Yeah, that's
so,
Balatro.
You'll notice you'll notice we've got Sock and Buskin. I don't know how many, I forget how many of these we covered, but basically we have a Joker that gives times mode every played King and Queen. Retrigger first card played twice. Retrigger all face cards. Smear Joker, the one we discussed before, it makes red suits that count as the same and black suits count as the same. That is Supernova negative, which just gives flat molt. He hung around because he was negative. He didn't affect me. And Blueprint and Brainstorm, which the first one copies the Joker on the right, the second one copies the Joker in the far left, and they're copying the same thing. And the Blueprint can copy Brainstorm, which can copy the first Joker that gives times mold.
Yeah.
So the plan was, I'm just gonna play a flush of Kings and Queens,
and just go crazy ape shit.
Yeah, and between the Retrigger and Suck and Buskin, that was 5, 10, 12 Jokers. All getting ×2 molt 3 different times. On top of the flush being like 80, like plus 80 molt at that point. So when you do that many levels of timesing and multiplying, yeah, the game loses its mind.
Yeah, here's the thing about exponentials, chat. If you don't understand how they work, well, the way it's called exponential because it gets bigger upon bigger. Bigger becomes bigger becomes bigger.
Open up your calculator app on your phone or on your computer. Do 2 times 2. Then just like hit enter a few times until your eyes bulge out your skull.
Yeah,
you'll notice real quickly like the number is getting out of hand very fast, and the more it gets out of hand, the higher it gets.
And this is why scientific notation and exponents are cool.
Yeah. And also why a double or nothing is a lot. Double is a lot, guys.
Yeah. But let us grab our next Joker.
Yes.
And also make sure to get rid of the
one of the favorite Jokers, but a Joker that will statistically never make the end of your run.
Yes. We're returning to our food series. It's the popcorn. Once again, very surprised that popcorn is like number 97. Yeah, 97.
It's definitely an early one, too. I have no clue why it's way in the back.
Yeah, it's a common. I guess it's just maybe it took them a while to think of it. But yeah, you get plus 20 mults. After each blind, the amount is decreased by 4. So after 5 blinds, it's used up, it's gone. And it does, like with all the other food-themed jokers, yeetus itself when it is done. And I think... Let me double-check what number ice cream is, because I'm pretty sure we did talk about that one.
Ice cream is definitely in the front.
Yeah. So, ice cream lasts a lot longer, but the popcorn is a lot more valuable because it's malt. And plus 20 malt is a lot. We've just done this whole, math problem is discussing how malt is good. Plus 20 is still a lot.
Yeah, especially in the early game, getting the popcorn like round 1 or 2 will basically carry you. It will basically carry you to like the end, like the mid of ante 3, just by default.
And if you've got the slots, even if you're in the middle of the game, go for it. It's still plus 20 malt. Like, one of the things about the food jokers, the jokers that cleanse themselves, is like, yeah, it'll just get rid of itself. You're not like locking in space, being like, oh no, the opportunity cost. Either it'll eat itself,
also,
or if you find a joker that's more valuable, you'll sell it and move on.
This is something that I think people starting out Balatro fall into the trap of. Never lock yourself into a run. Like what happened with that heart run that I joked about. My joker lineup was a bunch of just random nonsense. I had like a spade joker that was negative, so I just had it. But as I gained, like, I have bloodstone, so that can push me in that direction. And then I got the heart flat mold joker. So I'm like, okay, well now I have a stronger thought process. Then I got a joker. It's way at the end, invisible. It copies a joker. That when you sell it, that went okay. Well, I want to get rid of all these other jokers that I don't want. Then, so when I sell the invisible joker, it hits a joker that I want in the build. It's all about the kind of the thinking on your feet process. Grab that. Always grab that. Always grab that, Loth. There's in no world you would never grab that.
Yeah, crazy good for free. Loth has a polychrome blueprint for $0.
Yeah,
which is still one of the best jokers in the game.
That's your.
It was one of the tags.
Yeah, that
Phenomenal.
is the freest, best joker of my fucking life. I would take that every single day. I would get rid of something for that in my build.
Yeah, no, that's the one where like if you've ever done like a pack opening, you've seen somebody do like a pack opening stream, that's the like, woo, we got it. That's your college fund right there, baby.
Woo, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
That's pulling your hollow foil Charizard.
Oh yeah, I should
the
probably
only other joke I pick up was Hiker.
That's okay. You'll listen. It's polychrome. If nothing else, it just makes you molt until you get a joker that can be blueprinted. What were you gonna say, Axe?
Well, no.
And are we gonna talk about the concession jokers? Or I guess I like to call the concession jokers because it's the popcorn and the ice cream.
We have talked about the food. I mentioned just before. I'm pretty sure we talked about ice cream first time.
Yeah.
But like,
and then the bean.
Yeah,
I mean, like
there's a couple more
like
coming.
The food ones are interesting because they're. Oh yeah.
We were just talking about them. Like the point of them is. The point of them is that like they're temporary. Like they're not going to carry you. They're not going to last you the whole run. But they're going to give you a boost and let you find something else going on.
Yeah, we got in our current discussion because Visser was saying that reminding people that like don't be afraid to change your entire brew mid-run if you find something that is interesting, new, and is going to score high. So like definitely just like popcorn is again one of the, I think you said when we started this, one of the freest jokers ever. Like just like popcorn's almost never bad, and it
popcorn's almost never bad.
And hey, if you get down to just the last +4 malt, if +4 is not good enough for you, just sell it.
There's also the turtle bean. Where the turtle bean does not give outright bonuses to your hand. By giving you a giant hand size, it allows you to just find good hand size.
You might think to yourself, oh, +5 hand size, what's that gonna do? It's gonna give you fucking straight flushes or full houses for days, chat. Like when you've got fucking 10 cards, actually no more, because it's like, what's your default 7? So you've got like
8.
8?
H default hand size, so Turtle Bean on purchase
You
gives
got,
you
like,
13 hand size.
Yeah, 12 or 13
Which is-
cards in your grip. Imagine,
Yeah.
chat, we're doing Fail Portrayal right now. Imagine a Yu-Gi-Oh game where you've got 13 cards in your grip. You're God. You've got
Like-
half your deck in your fucking hands. There's no way they can stop you.
Yeah, no, it would basically be saying, imagine Yu-Gi-Oh, where I have a 10 card hand, like something like that, like the same percentage.
Basically,
Like-
it's like your opponent was a dumbass and did the Max C challenge. Never do this. You will not win. You do not win if you go first through Max C and your opponent draws 15 cards.
I would only recommend doing the Maxi challenge if you know your deck can easily do an infinite combo. That
Yeah, if
doesn't
you
do
can actually
anything
deck out your
infinite
opponent, it's good. But no, and this is why Max C is a card that sucks ass, but and it should be banned. But it's because that the literal best move is to stop and not play your turn. Because if you play into Max C, it's real bad. There's no good comes from letting me draw half my entire or 1/4 actually, literally of my deck. But yeah, no, the popcorn is part of several theme, and we'll see the next food one not too shortly down the line. But we got a couple other fun ones. We're in the zone of some spicy increasing jokers. First, an interesting one that I think also can make builds, though it's very you gotta be careful about. It's the spare trousers. It's the wrong trousers, Gromit. Number 98. This joker gets +2 molts every time you play a hand that includes a 2-pair. Note, not you score 2-pair. Every hand you play that includes 2 pairs. So full houses count.
Yeah, of full houses, flush house, even a flush, even a flush that just happens to have 2-pair in it.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yes. So any hand that is scored that contains 2 pairs gives you +2 molt, which is the same scaling that I've forgotten what the reroll guy's name is called immediately. Flashcard.
But this is the same case of the 3 of a kind joker that gives +80 chips or +10, 8 volt, whatever it was. I forget. But it's the same it's the same restriction or it's the same requirement. But it's still instead of just giving flat molt, it's a scaling molt that can get better than the original cards.
And if you are doing a brew where you've got, say, the observatory voucher, which means that every planet pack you own opens your most played hand, which, hey, 2-pair is a very common hand to play. You usually want to be scoring higher, but you may have to make work if you've got 2-pair. Or if you're going full houses, you can get some very high scoring bases. So this is one of those ones that combined with a couple other jokers, you can absolutely make a run out of.
If you end up with a lot of blue seal cards in your deck, and you can just play 2-pair forever, or full house forever, or flush house, or what have you.
Yeah.
There we go.
So definitely a good one to cook.
Oh.
Nope. Okay.
We lost a lot.
I think his computer went off or something. So just tip it back.
Yeah, I think he just had some lag or something. He went off. He said, "Well, there we go," and then it stopped.
Oh yeah, Discord is messing up for Loth. But yeah, a spare trousers. In theory, any joker that has a scaling effect like this can be a run definer. No matter how bad it may look to you on paper, it's all about forcing it to work. The thing, a deck builder roguelite is not about building the best deck. It's about forcing the game to acknowledge what you've built is good.
Yes, it's about manhandling.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that, remember, none of these are in a vacuum. You usually have 5 joker slots. So you're not just playing spare trousers in a final build. You're playing spare trousers plus, ideally, 4 other guys, which will do something similar.
Yeah.
And, of course, obviously, if you have the black deck, you have +1 joker slot. You can get +1 joker slot through a voucher. You can also get negatives, which increase your slots. So, you can be dealing with a lot more, but it's a good one. So this next one is the Ancient Joker.
Ancient Joker, one of those jokers that people will lose a run because they don't know how it works.
Yeah, so this is another one of those ones that's got a variable in it. So, the way Ancient Joker works is each played card with the suit given gives times 1.5 mult when scored. Let me reiterate that. When it's scored.
Do you remember how I talked about mail-in rebate and classifications of these random decision jokers? Which one do you think this falls under the one where it's determined by what's in your deck, or it's just a random straight roll of 1 in 4 suits?
Isn't it rotate? Isn't it like a set order?
There's
No.
not a set order, but it does. I don't really believe it's set order, but I think it just decides the suit randomly.
Yes. I believe, yeah.
And it does not care about what's in your deck. It will just choose one of the 4 suits.
And importantly,
won't
also,
pick the suit
it
twice in a row.
can't repeat. So if you are playing something like a checkered deck, Ancient Joker is not a good idea. You've got a decently sized chance that you will get one of the suits you don't have. If you're playing a more normal brew, it can work. But a very important thing is to say that, like, it's literally I like that the wiki says this. This effect can vary from incredibly powerful to practically irrelevant.
I've had it most be relevant to me.
Ancient Joker is very swingy because it's random, and it's going to depend on what you draw and what you play. And also, it gives you the mult when scored. So it applies to the card, I believe, when it is scored.
Yes, if the plant is coming for you and you're playing a face card build, you will die.
Yeah, doesn't do anything. Also, like, if you've got, if you've got, like, big jokers in hand that add a lot of mult, that's not going to get accounted for. So it's a tricksy one, the Ancient Joker.
Is definitely very good with something like Sock and Buskin, Hanging Chad. Re-trigger jokers for any, like, scoring joker is good.
Yeah, re-trigger brews it's good for. And a couple of others. Let's talk about our next food one.
This is the most unique of the food jokers.
Yeah, this is one I've had a lot of fun. Oh, hold on. Off is stuck in the call, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it tried to, there we go, disconnect. It probably
Bam.
tried to reconnect him when Discord
I
closed.
don't really think about that one this way. Yeah.
No, ramen is a very, very fun little guy. So this one is just ramen, but basically, ramen starts with ×2 mult. Every card you discard, it goes down by 0.01 mult. And then once you discard 100 cards, it destroys itself. Eaten. You've eaten the ramen.
This is a joker that I really, really like in theory, and it can be incredibly, incredibly good. But yeah, like the moment you're forced to discard is the worst feeling with a joker like this.
Yeah, I have had runs with ramen where it has taken me all the way to the end to at least clear the run at ante 8. And then I've had ones where I've picked up ramen and just it hasn't mattered because I didn't have another foundational joker. Like it is absolutely like one of those ones that, like, if you're early and you just need power, like we said with the popcorn, ×2 mult, you can't go wrong with that shit.
Yeah.
But like, it's any card you discard. So, like, say you get one of those funny little boss blinds. Like, I don't know, your entire first hand is drawn face down, or oops, all cards of such and such suit are debuffed. Oh no, I've drawn all 8 of my clubs in my opening hand. What will I do?
Or in fact, let me find the blind real quick.
Yeah. No, tooth is
the hook, which is
yes.
discards 2 cards per hand played. That discard does in fact hurt the ramen.
Yeah, that forced discard counts. So like, it is a card that will move through its mobility rapidly, but will get out there.
Yes, a flush house is a hand type. Did you play that, or did you hear it from us talking about it? yes, the
Arc is new.
The
No,
ramen.
Yeah.
The ramen
Also,
is a
by-
joker.
Loth
Very
is,
good.
is currently having problems joining us because he was trying to play Balatro and Discord literally on the same computer. He may have to force quit one of those. Yeah, no. We haven't discussed the planet cards in full yet, but there's three. I think it's 3 secret hand types.
Yes, there are 3 secret hands: the flush house, the 5 of a kind, and a flush 5. 5 of a kind, obviously, just being a 4 of a kind with the fifth version of the card, and flush 5 being the combination of a flush and the flush and 5 of a kind.
Yeah.
So you have 5 cards of the same type that are also the same suit. A hand that is feasibly unphysically possible in regular.
But if you know
Right,
what you're
Joker.
doing in Balatro, Flush 5 is crazy good. The Flush House is just an interesting thing that they decided to do to give you an extra secret, because that's just cards, three of a kind and 2 of a kind with the same rank, and then all of the same suit.
And while not directly related to Flush House, this does actually bring me back to something I wanted to bring up that I kind of forgot
yes.
about in the
Yeah, I
quest, in
remember
the quest to open up my tube of gummies.
What are these gummies? I still don't think I got told what gummies they were.
Don't worry about it.
Why?
The
I'm worried.
the 4 fingers Joker can actually cause a straight flush in a very interesting way.
Yes. I remember this.
In
We
the
talked
way
about
that it
this.
defines both a straight and flush as happening in 4 cards. If you have a hand such as a 9 of spades, 8 of spades, 7 of hearts, 6 of spades, and 3 of spades, this counts as a straight flush. Now you might be saying, how the fuck does that work? It's because it has a flush in 4 cards, but also a straight in 4 cards. So the game defines it as a straight flush.
Yeah, the variable that determines a straight flush is determined by any hand which is both a straight and a flush. So since 4 fingers lets you make both with 4, those can be 2 separate 4s. Also, another fun fact is the way a royal flush is defined is anything that is a straight flush that contains all cards of rank 10 or higher. So you can also do funny things. So yeah,
Yeah, so it can be like 2 aces and a king jack queen, or any variation of that.
yeah. It's a very, very fun one that you can do with the super stuff.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the secret hands is that they do score naturally pretty high, but if you're late in a run where you've turboed up the score of one of your basic hands, like flush, it may be shittier than flush 5. Like flush 5
Yeah,
and flush
all of
5
them
flush
are,
house and may be shittier than your regular flush.
So straight flush and royal flush have the same starting chips and malt. They're just a royal flush is just a thing in poker, they call it.
I don't actually know the base scores of the.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. 5 in this order: 5 of a kind, flush house, flush 5 are all higher than straight flush, but only by like normal starting poker hand amounts. Like a default flush 5 is 160 chips times 16 malt, which is real good for a level 1 hand, but if you've gotten crazy high level ups, will not actually beat like a really good full house or 4 of a kind brew, you know, or like a really insane flush.
There is 2 things to note that since we're both on the wiki.
Yes.
The black hole, which is a spectral card or /planet card, but it shows up in planet packs as well sometimes, even though it's a spectral. It can level up all hands by 1. It will level up the secret poker hands.
Yeah, they just don't show up.
But also, I do believe the secret poker hands do scale faster than the regular hands just by the same form of math overall.
Makes
but,
sense.
But they still be leveled up.
Yeah, the problem is that you will to start getting the planet cards to get them, you will have to perform them first. It's like cards like the Stone Joker, where you have to do it once, and then the game is like, you know about Secret Hands. That's how you get Planet X is 5 of a kind, Ceres is Flush House, and Eris is Flush 5. For all my planet heads out there.
And what's very funny is that Pluto, while being a base hand, is still called a dwarf planet in the planet card.
It's even funnier to me that, like, Ceres is a secret hand because, like, the dwarf planet Ceres is actually, I think, a little smaller than Pluto. But it's out there. You're not here to hear me yap about astronomy. I have pulled up the walkie-talkie Joker. I need to take a bio break real quick, but since Loth has managed to rejoin us, hopefully.
It's good.
I'll let you guys talk about that for a sec while I...
10-4 reminds me of, it's like, it makes me think of the Ace Joker, I guess.
Yeah, so it's the walkie-talkie Joker, but each play 10 or 4 gives plus 10 chips and plus 4 molt when scored. Okay, this I would say is probably the objectively worst of the, like, on certain played card give chip and molt. I think the ace is way better, but the 10-4 the 10-4 does get more flexibility. It's one of those builds that has to be like more tuned in on, you know.
Sorry, also just want to say that run I was playing, lost it by like 60 points. I was off from finishing the ante.
That just happens with some builds.
Oh wait, no, continue. Oh wait, it still counts as me losing. What? No, I'm back. Never mind. We go again.
But 10-4 is one of those jokers that I think can be fun. It does have some advantages. I would say the biggest disadvantage of like face card builds, especially like that this joker gets around, is that there will always be the plant looking out for you. The walkie-talkie, you don't have to worry about it, and you can just try to build out a kind of re-trigger nonsense with this walkie-talkie. It's kind of like the end goal of one of these.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
But it's
one of those jokers I don't really the best opinion of, because it's like the Aces one, where it's like there's not really other things that directly support it.
I mean, it does not have
it's a
direct
problem.
jokers it goes with, but it literally the wiki page on what jokers go with walkie-talkie is like twice as long as like the past 3 jokers we've talked about.
Yeah.
There are quite a lot of combos you can do which work with this. Even Steven gives you a bonus every time you play, an even guy.
Yeah, fair.
There's a wide variety of cards that can actually work out some stuff. Like, you can have like higher level like stuff with shortcut that makes straights skip, so you can start longer straights with a 10, for instance. Like, it's an odd one. You can get a lot of brews, but I like walkie-talkie, but I definitely understand that, like, for higher level blinds, if you want to make walkie-talkie work, you gotta really commit it. And you gotta go out of your way for the 10s. Like, they have the math on the wiki, so, like, if you do a full house 10s full of 4s, I think that's how you say that, 3 10s, 2 4s, level 1, that's normally a score of 310 chips, just enough to barely clear blind number 1. If you have walkie-talkie, that gets increased to 3,072 chips, which is good for, like, the first couple antes, usually. And obviously you're going to get extra shit in there. So, like, it adds up a lot, but like many of our jokers, you got to be willing to go a little ham.
It
But
always
it's a fun one.
it's the fun thing of these kinds of jokers that despite not having direct support, there's just plenty of tangential nonsense that you can cobble together into a build, and sometimes that is the fun of Balatro. But if you're going for like big high unga bunga number runs, there is an easy through line that is not doing this.
Yeah, you can probably find an easier way to do scientific notation than to use walkie-talkie. But I think walkie-talkie is good, especially for lower level stakes to base a deck around. We've got another consumable now. It's the Seltzer Joker.
Hey, this is weird though.
This is one we haven't mentioned yet, but is an example of the retrigger jokers. Just you retrigger all cards you play for the next 10 hands, and then it's drank.
This also is close enough to a food card, I would say.
Yes, I think it counts as one of the consumable jokers, because it has the special text when it finishes after the 10th hand that says drank. So this is the seltzer water you drink with your popcorn and your turtle bean.
Fuck, I actually think of like I kind of want to make more food jokers. Like I want a champagne joker. I should think what it would do.
I mean, I have seen several mods for Balatro that are pretty fully fleshed out.
Yeah, there's probably plenty of fun stuff, but yeah, seltzer is one that's very strong. Obviously, when you've got late game, you already have big huge ones set up, and then you're just like, and I'm going to retrigger everything for 10 hands.
I mean, to even equate right back to the 10-4, retriggering 10s and 4s, I couldn't say the full math on top of my head. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. But from a regular just 10-4, like regular flush house going from 300 to 3,000, affecting it again probably puts it in like the 50,000. I would say just probably ballpark like 30,
yeah,
40,000.
Every trigger of walkie-talkie adds the 4 molt. So
yeah,
no, yeah. So seltzer is a really powerful card. The main thing is obviously if you're playing dog shit hands, you'll get dog shit scores. So you need to make sure you are playing large caliber hands to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
And of course, it will go away after a while. While it is still there, its effect is copyable. So, you could blueprint Seltzer to retrigger everything again.
Yeah, like there are always combos for these jokers, regardless of their perceived effectiveness. It's like this, like how I talked about earlier. I have trouble playing competitive games competitively because I get way too competitive. But I like playing games like this where I can just be competitive with myself and just try to force the game to recognize that I can build a good deck out of the trash that's thrown in my hands.
Out of this pile of bad cards, out of this pile of beastly cards.
Yeah.
And that I think is one of the reasons why. I mean, also, I think that's one of the reasons why, speaking of roguelike deck builders, I think that's one of the reasons why Slay the Spire is very popular and very cool. Because that's a game where you're like, all right, okay, weird monsters from beyond time and space. I can throw 4,000 knives in 2 cards. What are you gonna do? They go, guess I'll die. Like,
yeah, like the aim of the game in a roguelike is to force the game to acknowledge that I've beaten it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the way I get to it. Sorry, I interrupt. Sorry.
No, I just making a one-liner. Go for it.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how I get there. All that matters is that I've done it. Like I don't mind. Like there are times where I'll reset a run, but it's like, well, I know I can't get any further. But if I see the line of trying to make something work with the jokers I'm given, I'll try it, but I'll give up when I know I've reached the end. Like sometimes giving up too early is a flaw in playing these kinds of games.
Yeah, you want to play it out. There's several times where I'm like, because I am not good at quick math of like stacking all my future multis together and shit, I've been like, well, I've only got 1 hand left. I'm pretty sure my combo's gonna work, but it might not. So we gotta play it to say it, to see. And then like, yes, no, that did work out. But now we've pulled up Castle as an uncommon joker. This is another one of our ones of a randomized suit and several effects, actually. So this is discard, gets chips, random suit. So Castle gains 3 chips on the card per suit discarded. The suit changes every round.
This is of the same type as mail-in rebate, where it is affected by the suit proportionally in your deck.
Honestly,
So
I think
this. Oh, sorry.
okay. I think this one and the Square Joker are like some of the best chip jokers in the game.
Yes.
Because the thing with
this
Castle is
Joker-
that you can just, like... it, much like mail-in rebate, if you're just discarding willy-nilly, you can get a lot of chips on this. If you're just like, well, I'm trying to build a flush of hearts. Oh, and I've got, like, 3
I've also
spades.
just-
Castle says
I've also just-
spades.
I've also just I have 4 hands right now. I can waste 2 of them to basically spend most of my discards to just build this up.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that, like, that's a difference in players. I almost never feel confident with, even if I had 4 or 5 hands, to be like, well, I can waste a couple of discards to be like, it's like, what if I draw crap?
Hey, Mega. Here's the thing. You can win a round with no discards left. You can't win a round with no hands left.
Well, yeah, but that's why I use my discards so that my hands are better.
I know, but you talk like your discards like you always keep 3, right? You always keep like 2 left for some reason.
Well, no, but I do not. I spend discards when I need them. The thing is that, like, I will, and I'll admit, I and even on the Balatro stream, you probably see it. I will sometimes shotgun hands just because I'm like, well, I have a pretty good one here. Because depending on what jokers you've got, sometimes you do want to just ditch shit and get a better hand. But I don't like to mess up a hand that I'm working on just to get a couple of chips now when I'm concerned about making it to the next round, the next blind. But, like, it definitely, I want to make sure that I can use my discards to fix. The thing with Castle, though, is, like I said, it's much like mail-in rebate. You just passively gain. Like, it's 3 chips every time it works. It takes a little while to get going in a meaningful way, but just if you get a few good discards in, it's useful. This does also actually synergize with Hook. If you get the Hook blind, it will pitch cards. So, like, you can just let this guy chill.
When is the have we covered the Square Joker? Because there's some fun things about that one I was saying.
Square, I think, is a little later. I'm kind of surprised at how later it is. There's the Wii. That actually, no, we must have already talked about. Yeah, we must have already talked about the Square Joker.
All right, well, just I guess as a note to bring up, Square Joker is funny in the sense of how you don't need to, it's not 4 scoring cards, just 4 played cards.
Yeah, it's to remind everybody, because that would have been last week. Square Joker gets X number of chips every time you play a hand of exactly 4 cards. As X said,
Exactly
it's not
4
score
chips.
4 cards.
Yeah.
So, and I believe this was said earlier. That is, I think, correct. That Castle and Square Joker are like the most consistent chips stockpile cards.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, because we talked about it today, Square Joker goes really great with spare pants.
Yeah.
If you're doing nothing but playing a 2-pair, guess what? That's 4 cards. I think I've had some very strong 2-pair runs that way.
Ironically, the 2-pair pair was actually added just because of a big review. It said an incorrect number of jokers, so they just added more jokers to the game.
Well, yeah, probably. I don't know exactly, because it's number 98.
Because someone said there was 150 jokers, but turns out there was not 150 jokers in the game, so they just added a few enough to make it 150 in the full release.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I don't know how Local Thunk numbered these, so I don't know if specifically Spare Trousers is one of those, because like I said, it was 98. So
Spare Trousers was one of those.
Okay, so he just put some of these in the middle. All right, interesting. This is the thing we've talked about where, like, man, some of these, like, simple early game jokers are surprisingly late in the collection number. So I do not know how he decided to number them. But yeah, that is very funny. Especially because we talked about it before, but I like Spare Trousers. Our next one is another one that is our part of our face build. The smiley face.
You say smiley face. Is it scary face? I can't see.
No, it's smiley face. Scary face is a different one.
Oh, yes, yeah, smiley face. This guy.
Face
A literal
cards.
smiley face. A classic
Honestly-
flower power energy.
I honestly feel like smiley face is actually like the lowest power of the face centric cards, in my opinion.
Yeah, the scary face I feel like is a little can be depending because it's 30 chips.
30 chips, but I think chips are more, getting things raw chips because it's easier.
I mean, the main thing to keep in mind is face cards are 10 by default, so going from 10 to 40 is pretty good. Smiley face gives. I said smiley face there. Smiley face gives you +5 mult when a face card is scored. So depending on what your chip score is, that can be super impactful, or it can be a drop in the bucket. It's just one of those things that, like, if you're building a set of jokers, a suite of jokers, a sleight of jokers even, smiley face is just one of those ones that you can combo in there without much thinking too hard about. If you're doing nothing but trying to play face cards, smiley face is great. If you're hoarding face cards with cards like Baron and reserved parking, don't play smiley face. It's very simple. Next, we're gonna get one of those, unless somebody else has something cutting to say about smiley face real quick.
No, he's all right. But he looks cool.
Yeah, it's a good look. Like I said, it's a classic one of like classic like flower power type smiley face energy. This is another one of those scaling mult jokers that I don't know how to feel about because I feel like smarter people make this work better than me. I'm not a huge fan of Campfire.
Campfire?
This weird.
So, Campfire is a rare joker, which costs $9, by the way, and it gains 0.25 mult every card you sell, and resets when the boss blind is defeated. So, like,
it can definitely be worked in with some shit like Perkio or Blue Seal decks, where just there are decks that passively create cards, because the best optimized build is like a deck with a handful of purple seals you can discard, a deck with a handful of blue seals that create planet cards of the hands you play, and the Perkio that creates a negative copy. Sorry.
Yeah.
You must go riffraff that just creates two. Yeah, no, that's alright. I enjoy Purdue, so that's my bad.
But yeah, lost mentioning Riffraff. To recall for people, if they don't remember from last stream, which was 3 hours, Riffraff creates 2 common jokers when you start the blind. So yeah, like, there's ways to make it work, but it just feels like such an awkward build-around because it resets itself.
Yeah.
And it's so expensive already.
It can only scale so hard because it's already requiring so much maintenance.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's one of those ones that, like I said, I'm not sure how to feel about. I feel like I personally don't like it. Most of the time when I see it, I'm just like, well, I don't have any of these things that generate consumables. I guess that you could, if you get it early and you get, oh god, what is it? What is it? It's called Seal of something. Or Certificate? The one that applies a random seal. No.
It is just certificate. We'll see it soon enough.
Yeah. Spoilers. There is a joker that just applies a random seal to a card in your hand.
It doesn't apply.
Creates a card with a seal in your hand.
Yeah, it adds a card that has a random point. It
adds a random card. Yes. So yeah, that one's pretty good, but it's definitely one of those things that's like you can find the brew, but I feel like we talked before about how you should be ready to pivot. Be very careful about pivoting late game to Campfire if you've already got a good setup.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're actually going to get to a... No, go ahead, finish your thought.
The problem is never how to pivot. The problem is when to pivot.
Yeah. But we're going to move on to a joker that I actually have not unlocked yet. We are far enough in the game that some of these I haven't done gone out of my way to set up for.
The golden ticket is one that I haven't unlocked on my computer, but I've unlocked on my phone.
Yeah, same here.
So, golden ticket, the unlock condition is you have to play a 5-card hand that contains only gold cards. Note, this doesn't say score a 5-card hand, but...
easiest thing with this is just like Midas Mask or something like that.
Mask.
which we have talked about. But yeah, and obviously once you've unlocked it, it won't appear in runs until you have at least one gold card. But what this does is, remember Golden Joker? Remember it gave you $4 every time? Golden tickets like that, but more.
It gives $3 if it's held in hand. The golden ticket makes played gold cards earn $4 when scored.
Yeah. Basically, I like the way the wiki puts this. It turns gold cards into more powerful gold seal, because the gold seal gives you $2 or $3 when you play. Yeah, $3.
That gives you $3 at the end of the round. Both of those effects are at the end of the round, whereas this happens in the round, which with something like the bull, for example,
yeah,
can cause you to scale very hard, especially.
Yeah, I'm already. It's one of those like pie
chip.
in the sky designs, but I'm like my mind instantly pictured. Okay, we get Paradoila, so everything's face. Midas, so every face cards become gold. Get Bull for every $1, gives me chips. Golden ticket, boom, victory.
Yeah. And you would want to build that in the plasma deck, where that deck wholly benefits from scaling chips forever.
But yeah, the golden ticket seems like a fun one. Like I said, I haven't unlocked it myself to actually play around with because it requires a little bit of setup.
It's very silly,
but it seems like a good one. And now we've got, I feel like the type of buff or option that like every roguelike should have somewhere. But it's the good old Mr. Bones. And this is a very an interesting one. First of all, Skeleton Joker, very relevant right now. But how Mr. Bones works is this is an uncommon Joker.
I'm so glad Skull Servant got a new job.
Oh, this weirdo.
Yeah, so Mr. Bones just prevents you from game overing so long as you have at least 25% of the required chips, and then he's gone. Instead of losing, you get a screen that says saved by Mr. Bones, and then you're good. This is the kind of thing that I usually like in my roguelikes, and I will usually pick up a Mr. Bones if I have room. I feel like the amount of time where it's actually, like, come up and I haven't just been like, well, I'm fine, sell Mr. Bones, is rare. But like I said, I feel like every roguelike game should have one of these somewhere.
A second life is a very valuable resource if obviously if the opportunity cost does not kill your economy.
Yeah. And he is an uncommon, so he's $5 usually, but again, still pretty simple. Also, by the way, Mr. Bones is one that is not unlocked at the start. You have to actually lose the game 5 times to unlock him.
Yep.
But pretty simple. We are actually moving into it past the 100 marker that I should make sure to mention how you unlock some of these jokers. But
he's fine. Like he's never a bad option if you have the free slot. Grab him, hang on to him. If as long as you score 25%, you get through it. It's a free pass against the wall, basically.
Yeah.
It's free real estate.
Well, and especially, God forbid, I think I had at least one run where I got a negative Mr. Bones. That's like the literal free real estate. You're just like, well, this is the freest thing I've ever seen.
That's super free.
Like, if you could... I might do some dangerous games to try and get a negative Mr. Bones. That's like real good.
Just ectoplasm your bone, man.
Next is the Acrobat. Acrobat, it gives you ×3 mult on the final hand of the round. Keep in mind, that is not, once again, I mentioned before, this is not the last hand you've played. It's when you've got one hand left in your hand to score, and you play that hand, then you get the ×3.
This is a Joker that I want to like, but I just can't see wanting to make good.
There's a couple of Jokers which trigger on the last hand, and it's like, I get it, but also, God, I really hope I would win before the last hand.
Yeah.
Like
it never feels good building towards a final hand run.
Yeah, but there are a couple of tricks which, like, score it like you can play like one card in your first hand, get some stuff, tricks like that. So like that works out, and obviously like
it is.
Go ahead.
It is useful for the needle, as Architect pointed out, but that's That's very specific planning if you have the opportunity cost to make.
Yeah, that's what I was
work.
gonna say. If you get a chance to pick up Acrobat and you know the needle is coming, yes, that's great. That's basically guaranteed. But after that, then you just get rid of it. And to unlock Acrobat, you need to play 2 hundo hands.
It's really something you would hold on to, like long term for a run.
Yeah. But now we get to talk about one of the retrigger cards we've mentioned before, because that one is an unlock one.
The best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. It's Sock and Buskin, which is another name for the comedy and tragedy masks. And the way Sock and Buskin works, yeah.
All played face cards.
Yep.
And again, unless you're playing the abandoned deck, that's just good. Face cards are already one of your highest scores, so you get pretty good. And like, I love how it literally has the math. So like, this means that every face card you play with smiley face is not +5, it's +10. Scary face is not, +30 chips, it's +60, etc., etc.
Even on like very generic cards, whatever the additions on them are, like the lucky card for lucky cat, for idol, for photograph, for any card that triggers specifically off cards being scored, any trigger card is busted, and this has arguably the best opportunity cost.
Yeah.
What it does for those kinds of scaling boards.
Also, very funny if you combo it with Golden Ticket and Midas Mask. You're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, you're gonna get more money. If you
Also
have the
works
bowl,
with the Gold Seal. The Gold Seal is gives you, like I said, $3 when it scores.
Yeah.
So just money.
Well, no,
money.
it doesn't retrigger seals because it's only played cards in hand. The mime would trigger like face cards and steel cards.
But yeah, it's still like you got a lot of activations you can get on there. Very funny. That's why Swashbuckler is later. But yeah, Sock and Buskin is just a great, like, if you're doing anything with face cards, and once again, even if you're not doing anything with face cards, if you just got a guy and you just need some free retriggers, you can make it work. So it's very fun. But we've mentioned before the Swashbuckler. Very funny art of Jimbo with an eye patch. This is a Joker that provides you with mult equal to the sell value of all other Jokers you own.
The present makes this thing amazing.
Yeah, gift card means that you're basically just getting scaling up. Also, egg Swashbuckler, great combo. Because the eggs sell value goes up. And to unlock this, you just need to sell 20 Jokers. And once you get it, it's a common. It's only $4, so very strong one that's just gonna get you some extra juice. So I'm looking at some of the unlocks for some of these that I'm funny about.
You know, the back end with all the unlocks are kind of funny with some of them.
Like,
have you unlocked Brainstorm?
Let me see, where is it?
It's on page 10. It's page 10.
Yes, no, I have not unlocked Brainstorm because I don't think I've.
It's middle top row is Brainstorm on the last page. Read that requirement.
Oh, I just scrolled to the bottom of the table in the wiki I'm working from.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, if you want to unlock Brainstorm, you have to discard a Royal Flush.
I have done. Yes.
I think, unfortunately, I've probably
it's worth
played.
it.
The only amount of Royal Flushes I've had to play have been on a single hand anyway. So
I mean, when you get a checker deck, it's not hard to do.
It's something to go into the game with the intention to unlock real quick.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's something you can do if you're
playing-
thinking about. You still have to like access like, oh, it's not that hard with the checker deck. You still have like a bunch of other cards. Like you need to get
Wait,
ace through 10 in that order. to get the royal flush. So like it
no,
takes
like,
a little bit of work.
It's the jack actually, but yeah.
It's something you do to where you just open a checker deck and you just reset runs for 20 minutes to
Weirdly
get a royal flush.
if you get lucky enough to get the royal flush and it's your first hand, the burnt joker is a really good way to use it.
That's a very I mean that's good synergy. That guy's great.
I say that because I've got the burnt joker right now.
Oh, he's a fun boy. I was also thinking of the very funny requirements to unlock our next one, Troubadour.
I don't remember the unlock.
Troubadour is unlocked by winning 5 consecutive rounds playing only a single hand.
I
do not know how I pulled that one off. I must have had a good set of jokers.
Yeah, same.
So I just do that by just if you're playing checker deck, you just only flushes or only two pairs.
No, it was the run I had the really good joker set up. I just kept.
Yeah, it's one of those ones
hand.
that like it's not that hard to pull off once you get a rhythm going. It's just funny to me to think, oh yeah, I did that. What Troubadour does is gives you +2 hand size, but -1 hand per round. So
this I would argue is good enough if like obviously depending on your build. If you have a build that's streamlined for trying to get like getting a good hand going, just having more hand options is good.
Also works well because in one case it's good to combo with the blue deck, which just gives you +1 hand anyway. So you just get +2 hand size for the normal amount of hands you would have anyway. Also, once again, shout out to the art. More traditional Joker build, but he's got like a weird non-Euclidean lyre or lute. That's pretty cool. That's a fun one.
Just so you know, chat. Against the needle, it does not give you 0 hand size. It can't reduce your hand size to 0. That's not how these Jokers.
I can only imagine it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Some people think it works like that.
The needle applies itself after all your calculations.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you also can't disable the needle because it doesn't give you back your hands.
Fuck you.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about how that blind works. That
I got a polychrome runner.
So here's certificate.
People wouldn't think about.
We talked about it earlier. Love the art on this certificate of authenticity.
The art is great.
To unlock this, you need to have a gold card with a gold seal. Double gold.
Is it like it to be a J Joker?
Yes.
J Joker.
It's everything in this that it's got a name is signed or typed J Joker. I assume Jimbo Joker.
It's a running theme. It's a running theme of like the credit card and stuff. Like John Joker, whatever the hell.
Yeah, John Joker. So this is a certificate of authenticity that says J Joker on it, and as we discussed before, when the round begins, add a random playing card to your hand that's got a random seal on it. So if you've got the blue Joker, which scales up chips with cards in deck, not a direct use, but obviously once you're done playing the hand, you'll have a new card in your deck.
It can be good depending on what exactly your deck has been built.
And just in general, depending on what seals you get, can be very strong. Obviously, if it's a purple seal card and it doesn't do anything, just discard it. But
toss that shit in the trash.
Gold seals are obviously like worth it just for cash, and red seals, the retrigger seals, are just goated. They're probably the strongest seal type is the red one because you get double retriggers. God forbid
you have like sock and buskin certificate red seal spam nonsense.
Yeah,
you're shitting out good hands.
Because like as long as you just have cards that do stuff, retriggering them a lot is good. And then our next one, this art I love, but we've talked about him before. It's the Schmeared Joker. And once again, just take this one in, chat.
Yes.
This absolutely waterlogged Jimbo. Like, what did you do to this poor guy?
This art looks incredible.
Yeah.
I love how shit it looks.
He's just, he's literally smeared, but he's like so smeared. And we've said before what this one does. It's hearts and diamonds, the red suits count as the same. Spades and clubs count as the same. So can be very useful or very harmful, depending.
Yeah. It's a very strong ability. The problem is getting to a point to avoid the downside.
But once you're there, I mean, first of all, very similar to this basically turns your deck into the checkered deck without actually picking checkered deck, because it means that all of your, your black suits count as the same. So flushes, straight flushes, etc., all way easier. And then also means that you can wombo together jokers that have effects that apply to suits, because the way count as the same suit works is they both simultaneously count as both suits. So if you play something that counts as like, a flush of spades, but you've got a couple clubs in there, your club's multiplier effects will still trigger on all of the clubs. Same with spades.
Yeah,
so it's just good.
We'll get to that in a short moment. We're about to get to the retrains of the suit cards that I think all are each pretty damn good in their own way.
We've got
And
a couple of
to, unlock,
sick
but
nasty.
or they require you actually having to try to unlock them.
Yeah. They've got a couple of them have some sick nasty unlocks. By the way, to unlock the Schmeared Joker, you need 3 or more wild cards in your deck. So do you hunt wild cards? They're good. But here's another fun Molt Joker, the Throwback. This is another one that is per run. So, oops, sorry.
I love this guy
my cable. Yeah,
so much.
this one's another one that because like the Fortune Teller, it's per run is pretty based. So Throwback gives you times 0.25 Molt for every blind you skipped this run.
Also, sometimes there's just good tags on offer.
Well, also, it's once you cleared any run with a deck, your first level stake is small blind no longer gives you cash reward.
Yeah, so you skip it unless you have something you benefit from it. Econ thing.
It's one of those things where, unless you've got some very specific reason not to skip it, you're almost always skipping your first blind, the small blind now, unless you're, planning around specific stuff. Honestly, when I get later in a run, when I've got my economy sorted, but I have jokers that, I don't know, if I had square and 2 pair, spare pants jokers, I might play out around just to farm, molten chips, but usually you're skipping. So Throwback is great. Also, once again, has one of the easiest unlock conditions ever. To unlock the Throwback Joker, you need to continue a run from the main menu, so quit and continue it later. That's it.
Funny how that goes.
All of that for
It's also it's also one I think my favorite looking ones.
Yeah, no, because he's 80s retro, and just
sleepy ass Jimbo.
It's more of it's an 80s party. It's got confetti. So.
Well, yeah, but that's this is actually like an 80s or early 90s art style of he's got wraparound mirror shades. It's got the color palette with the blobby textures that form the confetti patterns. Yeah, he's having a great time. And now we finally found it. We've talked about it a lot because it is an unlocked Joker.
This is one of the big ones.
Yes, this is one of the Jokers of all time. The Hanging Chad.
Oh yeah, I get to finally figure out what Bear was talking about with this fucking card. What does it look like?
Well, it looks like a Hanging Chad. You've got a ballot and you've not punched it out correctly.
Why is it called a Chad?
Because that is just what the piece of paper is called. Axe is too young to remember the 2000 presidential election and the saga of the Hanging Chad.
I was I was 3 at the time.
No, I it's not a joke when I say you were genuinely too young to remember. I was 8 when it happened, so I remember it being a fuss on the news. Yes. This is why we don't have punch card ballots anymore. Let me actually see if I can find out. Yeah, Chad's paper. Chad refers to the fragments when holes are created and hole punches. So if you've ever used a paper hole punch, it is both a mass noun, a pile of Chad, and a countable noun, many Chads. Unsure exact etymology. It seems to basically come from the same place as chaff or chips. There's a patent from the 1930s which includes a filing for a Chad box, which is a place where you put the chips cut from a tape in, like, telegraphing and early punch card computing.
Sweet.
But this is definitely a joke about the year 2000 presidential election, with the ballots being inappropriately punched. But we've talked about what this does before, but to speedrun it, Beto, the effect is retrigger the first card you played in scoring 2 times. Whatever card you score first, double it. Or triple it.
Combined with a certain Joker, the photograph, which the first played face card gives times 2 molt when scored, is suddenly 8 molt.
Yeah. And I do believe that photograph is not an unlock, so we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, it's a comment that I think is one of the original.
To me, it's funny because I literally just unlocked this guy, like, thanks to my nonsense.
Well, yeah, that's the part I stumbled over.
Very good.
This has a very yes, it's a very good one, but also has a hilariously funny unlock condition, which is to unlock the Hanging Chad, you have to beat a boss blind with a high card.
Yep.
So, like, I think that's fair that they've given you one of the best Jokers in the game that you can set up. You have to actually work for it a little bit.
Kind of.
Like, you cannot easily win most boss blinds with a high card. You have to, like, have been developing high card or get some good Jokers.
If you have plasma, you're probably okay. But you do need at least some setup for that.
Also, you gotta work for a while for plasma.
Fair.
That's like... Which deck in the order is plasma? Clear the blue stake? Yeah. That's pretty deep in there. Which in of itself means you've played a decent amount of Balatro. So you got to work for it.
Now we have the next suite of 4, the suit more suit Jokers.
Yeah, let me yoink us them all up at once to make this go a little faster. The whatchamacallit, the Chaldea Broadcasting Station light is going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not pipping it
right,
in because
yes,
I'm trying
That's
to
what I'm
speed run this
doing
faster.
tomorrow.
There he is. They're showing Tez right now. The one it'll be out later.
4 dudes.
All right, so that's...
Yay! Raise the capital interest earned each round to $20. Let's go. Money tree.
Nice.
The art in all of these is pretty damn good. They're
Yeah,
just
they all have a
nice
distinct
looking
look. They're gemstones. Let's make sure we're all... Yeah, we got plenty of room. Okay. That one. And then the last one.
Okay, one of them is just a bump plug.
It's an arrowhead.
Fuck you.
That's not rounded. It's sharpened.
That's an arrowhead.
Despite Loth's advice, he is not a doctor. Please do not stick obsidian arrowheads anywhere inside your body, actually. That's bad for you. Stick them with the
Yeah,
other
I'm-
end.
If anyone considers me a doctor, they're already screwed.
I mean, you're
There's
always
no hope for them.
The Onyx Agate is, I think, the best looking one, but I think also the weakest looking one in
I think
practice.
it is because I never get it anyway.
So basically, here's how, in order, they are Rough Gem, Bloodstone, Arrowhead, Onyx Agate. You unlock each of these by having at least 30 of the appropriate suit in your deck. And they all have specific but cool powers. The Rough Gem means played cards of the Diamond suit earn $1 when scored. So just all diamonds are baby econ. Bloodstone, as we mentioned before, is 1 in 2 chance that when you play a card of the Heart suit, it gives times 1.5 multi Arrowhead is played spade cards give plus 50 chips when scored, and Onyx Agate is played club cards give plus 7 mult when scored. Which I definitely think out of the volume of each, plus 7 mult is probably the weaker. Obviously Bloodstone, like we've talked about before, that's a fitty, so like that could be nothing.
It's one of those coin flip jokers that it's worth gambling on if it hits. The problem is if it has to hit.
Yeah. And we mentioned it before, you can assuage that, but definitely one of those moments of like, if you get times 1.5 multi, that's good. But plus 7 multi per club is like way more consistent.
Yeah, it's more consistent, but it's effectively the weakest, where Bloodstone can probably be the best.
Yeah, I think that's what I would say is Agate's probably the lowest. I mean, technically, Rough Gem doesn't do anything if your money is already sorted, but we talked before about Bull and stuff. You can turn Rough Gem into a process.
Having more money, if you can afford it, is never a bad thing.
Yeah. Because if you have a shitload of money, that's the thing that when you like see a couple of Primo Jokers show up in shop, you're like, oh, we can pivot. And the Arrowhead is just plus 50 chips, but that's a decent amount that will make up for a lot of stuff if you've got it going on. And like obviously,
yes.
if you're playing something like the checkered deck, or if you're playing a deck where you create 30 spades anyway, plus 50 chip on every card you score is gonna be good. Like, it adds up. Alright, so let me close those tabs.
Yeah, not too much else to say about them. That they
they're
all
neat.
look good though.
Yeah, they all look good. They all play good. It's one of those things that, like I said, I like the idea of like, okay, so we had our basic jokers of like, oh, you get plus 3 mult when you score one of those guys. But these are all like, no. If you go down the wire of like building a deck with this many of that suit, here's a special little bonus we unlock for you when you finish. Like,
and if you get the Smear Joker, it allows you to play 2 of these, which is always good, I feel.
No, definitely. And our next one, the Glass Joker. It's Jimbo, but he's a glass card. It's very, very straightforward.
This one's funny, but I always find a little hard to build.
Yeah, so way Glass Joker works is for every time a glass card is destroyed, it gains 0.75 mult, which is a lot.
Not this run, but after
Period.
you grab it.
Yes, every time after you get the Glass Joker, you break it. So it's one of those ones that, like, yeah, you can base around. Add 0.75, real strong. That's big for a multi-Joker, for a times multi. But it is the kind of Joker that only appears in the shop once you have at least one glass card, so you can't, like, pick it and then decide, I'm going glass. And the other thing is, to unlock it, you have to put 5 or more glass cards in your deck.
By the way, the Queen card you were thinking, Vesper, Shoot the Moon?
No, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, Vesper found the name earlier.
Okay. My bad.
So yeah, that's a strong one.
It's like a lot of these cards can be powerful. Problem is getting to make them powerful, I would say.
Yeah. And also, like, yes, we talked about this. Deck fixing is important, but usually you want to, like, deck fix on your own terms. Depending on how you're building your deck, glass carding yourself when you don't want to can suck because the glass card itself gives you a big multi. So, like, you're kind of like trading off your multi-playoff for more future multi-playoff.
It's one of those things of you would only really build into Glass Jokers once your deck was powerful enough to survive by itself.
Now, our next boil is another very funny guy. The show.
It's really interesting. This is a very interesting Joker to talk about.
Yeah, because this Joker, I'm going to say what it does, and you're going to be like, huh? You know, if you don't play Balatro or you're not deep in there. So what the showman says is, Joker, Tarot, Planet, and Spectra cards may appear multiple times. And you may think to yourself, isn't that already kind of true? Yes, but actually no. So what the showman does is, one, if you already have a particular Joker, Planet, or Tarot card in your possession, duplicates do not show up. I think this is something you also brought up after last stream, Vesper.
Yes.
If you have a Planet card in your consumable slot, you won't get other copies of that. So if you put something that you don't necessarily want, like, one pair high card, you can sit on that and not have to worry about getting those in your packs. Or you can pick something absurd. But if you have Showman, they do that. The other thing is that if you have Showman, they can appear in the same booster pack as well. So, like, if you get Jumbo packs, you can sometimes rip 2 of the same Tarot card or Planet card. And duplicating Jokers is very funny. There's a couple ways to do it. Usually they have a cost. Showman is just, you may get a chance to buy a second Joker, a second copy of a Joker. And that can be really strong, or it could be nothing. Showman is one of those Jokers that usually if I see him early in a run, I'll pick him up and just hoard him. Because it's funny to, like, be able to get, extra Planet and Tarot cards and just double up on Jokers. But like I said, sometimes it's nothing.
It's weird, because it's like, I've had it before, and it actually, like, I notice uptick immediately.
Yeah. So,
it's a Joker it's a Joker I really like in concept, where, let's say you've got a strong build going solely through what you've got, like, oh, I've got a trib, I've got a blueprint, I've got something else. Like, once you hit the point of, like, just having a silly board full of powerful cards, you can try to fish for, like, well, let's go for another blueprint or brainstorm, or
we'll talk about blueprint in a second because he's coming up, actually, funnily enough. But to remind everybody, blueprint is blueprintable.
Yeah.
So, like, Showman is absolutely worth using to fish for double blueprint just because the train gets bigger. But if you don't get the second blueprint, he does nothing but suck up space, It's one of those opportunity cost things you got to be careful about. But like we said, he's very funny in concept, but... Wow, somebody's skipping a lot of packs.
Yep.
I mean, you got the red card. That's what it's there for. So next in the unlockables, the flower pot. It's a pot full of flowers. It's got the suits in the back.
This is another Joker that I think people will lose because they don't understand how it works.
So flower pot's listed effect is if you play a poker hand that contains a diamond, a club, a heart, and a spade, you get ×3 mult.
This does not work with the smeared Joker.
Yes.
Or wild cards.
Yes. Wild cards and smeared Joker only count as 1 per card. Though they can work out that way. The main thing with Flower Pot means that you must be playing at least 4 cards for it to count. You can, like I said, you can get wild cards or smeared to count for ones you don't have naturally, but you still have to have enough spaces, basically. So, like,
they still inherently count as a heart card or a diamond card, regardless of counting as that suit. It's different terms.
So, like, if you have, like, 4 fingers or splash or something, and it says here, if you have, like, 3 wild cards, you can make a flush work with this, but it won't work that way. So, like, I will say this, this is a card that has synergy with Splash, which I think we did talk about last time. That means that all cards score.
Yes.
Splash basically means that you can play, like, smaller hands than 4 and have them count for this because all the cards will score. Otherwise, this only works if you are playing, like I said, cards that, hands that will make at least 4 of. So it's a weird one. But it's ×3 mult, so if you can make it work. Probably, I agree with the wiki here. Great fit for the abandoned deck because you have a smaller card pool inherently. But you want to be careful, and it is, as we said, not ideal to do with the smudge-type build or wild card build. Because you'll confuse yourself. But I think we've talked about him long enough. Let's bring him up. Let's bring him forward. It's the boy. One of the best ones there is. The Blueprint Joker.
Yeah.
Beautiful printing of Jimbo in Blueprint. I do want to say it's very fun that the way you unlock Blueprint is you have to win one run. Get him in there. But what Blueprint does is copy the effect of the Joker to its immediate right, assuming they are compatible, but it does have a note to let you know. And
majority of Jokers it copies are compatible. There are very few that are incompatible, but
yeah,
what doesn't really matter. Like the very few that are incompatible, there's just so many it can destroy with. A very funny thing about a series of Jokers, we'll get to one in a moment, but like the Daredevil that just gives plus 250 chips but a minus a penalty. If you are not copying that Joker at round start, it won't apply the penalty. Then you move it over, it's now applying the benefit.
Also, yeah, by the way, Chad, if you don't know, you can rearrange your Jokers mid-run. Like middle of the blind.
And it can be very important for cards like the Joker. Like this Blueprint.
Or even just for the way the math works. Like, I've had some where I wanted my times mult on the very end, but I've had, like, Ceremonial Dagger. So, like, we'll activate the blind, activate Ceremonial Dagger, and then we scooch my times mult to the last slot so it procs in the right order after Ceremonial Dagger adds mult, you know? Like, you can do a little shifting. But yeah, mainly what Blueprint doesn't work with is, first of all, just in general, passive Jokers that don't make sense to be doubled, shit like the aforementioned Splash, Smear, etc. Doesn't work. And in general, it doesn't seem to copy any of the, well, most of the money-related Jokers. Like, you can't Blueprint a Golden Joker to make $8 around. But that's fine, because you don't want to do that. You want to use Blueprint to copy something crazy.
You want Blueprint to be copying a crazy effect in your hand.
So, you know, turbo out your multi, turbo out your chips, whatever.
Next, we have the best little guy.
Oh, 'tis a wee Joker. Now, chat, you may be confused when I pull this up. But no, I assure you, this is the size at 200%. I have doubled the asset size. So yes, no. The Wii Joker is just the default Jimbo Joker, but small.
Honestly, it makes twos worth it. It makes twos actually.
This is one of those, yeah. The Wii Joker gives you the 2 run, much like a hack. Basically, gains plus 8 chips whenever you play a 2 and it's scored.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus 8's worth a lot. It basically means that every 2, like the first 2 you play, means that your next score is basically worth like you'd played a 10 anyway. And then it keeps going up. So it's pretty good. To unlock it, you need to win a run in 18 or fewer rounds. So, you know, get a little bit of your speed going, skip some blinds. But yes, Wii Joker is another one of the very good scaling ones because, you know, you've got a decent amount of 2s. Just go.
Yeah, he's fun. I mean, it's a kind of Joker that like requires very specific builds, but can always do some crazy shit.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that, like we said, if you get him early, just start deck fixing. Get rid of anything that's not a 2 or probably something like, you know, aces and faces just for high scores.
Or play one of my favorite decks, the erratic deck, and just fish for a run with 1,000,000,000 2s or
Yep.
aces you can deck fix into easily.
Yes. And like I said, this goes very well with hack retriggers 2s, if you'll recall.
There is the like I think with 10-4 or at least like Walkie Talkie, there is I guess the 5-2 build somewhere.
Yeah. There's a range for low scoring cards. Oh, Loth literally got the free real estate. He got a negative gold Joker. You're cooking, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've hit endless mode, and that's the first thing it gives me.
Nice. Is that your first cleared round? Or have you won before?
I was able to win my second run.
Okay. It's pretty good, but
I've
Not
been
done
getting
yet.
some good luck.
speaking of Jokers, I also haven't unlocked yet.
This one,
Look at this guy.
Mary Andy.
This one took me a while to get one, but he was really nice to have one. You need to also work towards getting only 5 hand size to unlock the second tier of the hand size Joker.
Yeah. So this is Mary Andy, which is a reference to a specific kind of jester. He's kind of a funny little guy. This gives you +3 discards each round, but -1 hand size. So, kind of balances itself out. I think +3 discards is generally better, but you will have to use it. Basically, this is the Joker that unlocks the same requirements for unlocking the speedrun achievement, which is clear in 12 or fewer rounds.
You just skip for like, most things besides boss blinds. You just skip I think like the first 6 rounds. You give or take 1 or 2 just so you can actually use the shop. But yeah.
I mean, if you're skipping every couple ones and do a boss blind, you'll get some funny ones. I should try that with like the checker deck at like a low level stake, just to get it done, because you can make some gnarly flushes. But yeah, it seems like a good little guy to get in there.
He's pretty fun.
Yeah. More discards can be pretty good. Our next one is another one that we've mentioned a lot, but does require a little bit of work to get through.
Yes. Real quick before we go off on this is one of the cards you just mentioned. Like you can get the wait, is it what does he give? I'm sorry.
Mary Andy, +3 discards, but -1 hand size.
Should I? Forget if you can copy that now. Don't know if that is. I think that is one it can copy.
It says not copyable.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, I just read a very funny trivia about it. If you get Mary Andy through a Judgment Tarot card while you're in the middle of the run, you'll get the extra discards in your current hand without like losing cards in hand. But the next time you draw, your hand size is counted as one smaller.
Yeah.
So you don't lose a card, but
it can't take away it can't take away a penalty from the hand already happening, but it does affect your hand size when you get it.
Yeah. So this is another one we've mentioned a lot. Oops, all 6s. This is just all listed probabilities become doubled.
Yeah. So 1 and 3 becomes 2 and 3. Ergo, lucky card is 1 and 5 and 1 and 15 to 2 and 5 and 2 and 15. It can definitely affect it. And with the card we just talked about, like Bloodstone, 1 and 2 to 2 and 2, it fixes the problem of Bloodstone. It always triggers now.
Yeah.
It's great.
I was going to mention Bloodstone as the example, but I was going to mention what was it? The one that says face cards give a 1 in 2 chance of giving money.
Face card or business card.
Yeah, business card. Thank you.
Or and then reserved parking is that in hand as well. 1 in 2 chance that face card held in hand will give you money as well. So yeah, no, it's just good. Like it obviously, if you don't happen to have any jokers with probability, it's nothing. But most cases, it's something. You do want to be careful. It does increase negative cards. So if you don't have the glass joker and you're playing glass cards, they're going to be breaking, which may affect your overall.
But they're playing lucky cards.
That can also be used well with the glass joker.
Yes, if you have Glass Joker already, then yes, because that you want to break them because that is better long term. So it all usually works out. Like even the we talked before about Gros Michel. Like yes, that means a 2 in 6 chance that you'll yeet it and lose the
You kind of want that.
the smaller one. But once you do it, you have a chance to get the Cavendish in the.
And I think even on Extinct stuff, you can rebuy that one.
Yeah, because you no longer have it. It might show back up. And also, obviously, for the Cavendish itself, that's a fucking 1 in 1,000 chance it goes away. So, 2 in 1,000, no doubt.
Making it 1 in 1 in 500 doesn't really alter that much.
Yeah. But no, Oops All Sixes is another, like,
if
power
it happens
card.
to be fun, it'll be, like, tragically funny.
And now, Ekum Pokum. Got another one of the funny ones. You throw me the whip, I'll throw you the idol. So, Idol is like I said before, a funny little guy. This one, each played rank of suit gives ×2 multi when scored. Card changes every round.
This is also affected by the cards in your deck. So if you say have, for example, a deck of all 10 of spades, it will always pick 10 of spades.
That's good to know, because otherwise I feel like this card's not great if you have a very varied deck.
It's one of those ones that, like we said, ideally you want to be deck fixing, and Idol is a joker that rewards deck fixing. If you don't have a lot of cards in there, when it randomly picks, ace of spades or whatever, that's good. You can make it work. And obviously there are ways to, like, copy stuff. Checker deck, for instance, is a good wombo combo because you already have 2 copies of every card because, your deck, your alternate suits have been replaced with just doubles of the other. So it's one of those ones that's usually pretty good. And obviously, like, again, if you're going for the brew where you just have all of the same card, so you can play, like, I don't know, flush 5s, Idol's crazy for that shit. Every single guy is gonna be ×2 multi. But if you've got a big blocky deck, not as great.
And also, this effect can be triggered off of like other retrigger effects that we've had happen before.
Yeah.
But you have to get to that point.
Sorry, I was trying to wrap my head around the next Joker. This is another one I haven't unlocked because it requires a very specific hand to be played.
Oh.
This is Scene
Deadman's
Double.
hand? Oh.
Which is a really cool art.
Oh yeah, this is a really funny one. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's a weird little guy. So the way this works is ×2 mult if played a hand that has a scoring club and any other scoring card that is not a club. And you have to unlock this by playing a 4 of a kind that is 7 of clubs. Or at least contains 4 7s of clubs. So, another weird one.
Very
I think I
specific.
did this one on complete accident, not realizing it was a thing to do. I just ended up making it happen.
Yeah. This is another one that I like. I can't, in good conscience, say it's perfect.
It's
But-
funny.
Yes, it's very funny. And obviously, this is one of those ones where, like, if you're trying to make splash work, that makes it a lot easier to trigger because it means you can still get, like, several of your cards in a same suite together, and then also slam a score on a non-card. So you could play, like, the recommendation is, like, play 4 ace of clubs, 1 random hearts. You'll get it.
Just get the card. Just make it happen. You'll do it. I promise.
But a very funny one. Here's another Econ Joker that is very weird. The Matador.
This
Jimbo's
Yeah,
race is
this-
a Matador.
this guy's really silly.
I just picked him up. Why does this keep happening?
So, Matador is a kind of card. We talked before about how they're econ cards. This is not so much an econ card as a, oops, my bad card. Here's your reward for dealing with something annoying card. Earns you $8 if the hand you played triggers the boss blind. So,
So have you got a bunch of debuffed cards?
Yes, but you have to play them. So, does also work on stuff like the plant, the pillar, the flint. If you play a non-scoring hand with Eye Mouth or Psychic, it triggers, but that means you're wasting a hand. It's real good, though, if you have the arm, which is the one that decreases the whatchamacallit, the score, like the level, if it's higher than level 1. So, like, $8 is a lot, but if you're triggering boss blinds, usually that's not fun.
If you can get to that point, where you can afford to have in your build, is probably fine for like to grab it when you know a run's coming up where you're gonna be triggering it, but you have to get the timing.
And I will say, at least I will say the case of like its buy price is $7, the reward is $8. It will return your money with a little bit of investment if you can get it to go like at least once. You know, you'll make a little bit.
It doesn't trigger multiple times if you trigger the debuff of the effect multiple times.
No, yeah, it's you can trigger it multiple times in the same boss blind, but once per hand. If your hand played is affected, you'll get $8. This is another good card art that's attached to a very funny unlock condition. On the road.
Don't remember that one.
Jimbo crossing. Hit the road. Sorry. Hit the road, Jack. This Joker gains times 0.5 mults every time you discard a Jack this round.
Oh, I've never unlocked this one.
Yes, to unlock it, you have to discard 5 Jacks at the same time.
Oh, you know what? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to unlock that Joker right now.
Yeah,
it's
weird, 'cause I think it's only
very
30
specific.
hands.
Because that means, in case you can't pick up on that chat, that means you have to get at least 1 extra Jack copy in your deck, preferably more, because you need to draw 5 Jacks and then discard them. You need to be in a position where you have a 5 of a kind of Jacks and get rid of them. So, you will need to do some deck fixing and then pray. Alright, our next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm just going to put all these together. Because these are kind of the retrains of the ones that are based around specific poker hands. Let me check our team compass. We might be able to fit 5 in here. And unlocking all of these is interesting as well, because the way it works is you unlock these ones by beating a run without playing the associated hand. That said, I think the art design for all of these rips.
It's basic or books
Did you
go.
repeat that? What was that?
I said I think the art design for all of these rips.
No,
how do you unlock these?
it's it's beating a run without having played the shown hand.
Oh, okay.
So for some of these, like the one I'm about to put on screen that shows 4 of a kind, easy. Usually you got to go out of your way or be very lucky to make a 4 of a kind. Beating without playing a single pair, tougher.
Not impossible, but you have to consciously avoid it.
And in the case of the 2 bigger scoring ones, the ones for flushes and straights, usually means you have to have done a very specific build where you're getting enough score to clear a run without needing to play one of those higher energy hands.
Yeah.
The other thing
Straight, I would say, is the easiest. Straight always feels like one of the harder hands to constantly build around.
Yeah.
They're nice, but like they're like not as consistent as one would hope, honestly.
I mean, here's the thing. Like with most Jokers, I'll say they can't exist in a vacuum. They don't on their own give you enough, but if you get the straight or the flush one, or also honestly even the pair one, works pretty good if you've got, for instance, a 2-pair build going on, because 2 pairs counts as having a pair in it. You can make them work. It's the Sorry, let me name them all real quick. So from left to right, it's the duo, the trio, the family, the order, the tribe. Trio and family, those are 3 of a kind and 4 of a kind.
The last one cut out, but it's the tribe.
No, sorry if I cut out a little there. Yeah, the tribe. But like, trio and family are, I think, the toughest one to set up. That's kind of why they have the biggest reward. So each of these, if your played hand contains a pair, or the etc. of the, you get a multi. For duo and for tribe, it's ×2. For trio and order, it's ×3. And if it's the family, it's ×4. So it's definitely one of those things where, like, we mentioned before, right, how, like, contains a hand is not the same as is just that hand. So if you are doing the thing where you're making it to flush 5, or 5 of a kind, guess what? 5 of a kind, that counts as 4 of a kind. It's got 4 of a kind in it.
Yeah.
So you'll get ×4. But if you're not doing that, then the family's really hard to set up. This is why, like I said, I think they can make work. Like, duo works really well if you're doing a build focused around pairs or 2 pairs. There's a reason why I think the tribe correctly has the ×2 mult, because making a flush build is easy if you have the right decks and options. And you can deck fix to make straights easier. The family is definitely the toughest one, but all of these I think can be important and useful tools in your team, because it's just an extra times multi. And I do believe, I think I was going to mention this earlier, but I do believe the color scheme for all of these is the same as those old school Jimbos that are linked to each hand.
Let me take a look. Pair. Yeah, they're the same color schemes.
Nice. You love to see the callbacks. Vampire.
Vampire is one of my favorites.
He's a funny little guy.
I haven't had a chance to use him.
Next up, Stuntman.
MVP for the Plasma MVP.
Yeah, though requires a little bit of work to get to. So, first of all, the Stuntman is another card that's good if you're trying to get that one, almost said Chivo, that's not quite correct,
By the way, not
but
vampire.
that specific effect. Oh, sorry, you were just muttering, it sounded like you said vampire. Maybe I just like to say vampire. Stuntman gives you -2 hand size, but is just plus 250 chips.
Ah, okay. This is the other I was thinking of. So, Blueprint and Brainstorm can copy this one, but if they're not, if you copy it after the round starts, you will not get the hand size penalty.
Ah, so it's the same as the situation they talked about with the other one, where if you got it randomly through, like, Judgment, if you apply the copy later, you don't lose cards in hand. It applies the next time you would draw.
No, this one just straightly, just over the board, does not apply the hand size penalty. It happens at round start.
Interesting. Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's funny how they don't, like, mark that out with the way it's said, but yeah. Stuntman is can be very powerful. I think the game correctly recommends it if you're doing a build that works around smaller sized hands, poker hands. Like if you're doing like 3 of a kind or 2 pair or even 1 pair, because you get a shitload of chips and you don't care. But to unlock this one, you need to play a single hand that earns at least 100 million chips.
It's really funny though, but this Joker is so good.
Yes, it's worth the unlock. I'm just saying, it got an effort. You will probably, if you're getting access to higher level stakes, will probably naturally score that high. But it takes a little bit of work. And don't worry, Jed, we're close. Let's see. This is the Invisible Joker, who is, what, number 137, and there's 150 exactly? Yeah, so pretty close. Invisible Joker says, after 2 rounds, sell this card to duplicate a random Joker. If it is already negative, the copy is not negative. To unlock this one, win a game while never having more than 4 Jokers. So a little bit of a tricksy one. Very funny design with just drawing the hat and the ruffle, no Jimbo. But very powerful effect. This is another one of those ones that I think if you see it, you probably grab and sit on until you're ready to rock, because, again, duplicating can be very powerful.
Yeah, this is the Joker I was talking about, where I had that heart built, where I got it and I wanted to get rid of all the negatives, because it will negate the negative it copies.
Yep.
Here's another one we can probably talk about very fast because we mentioned him already. Brainstorm. It's a Jimbo with some very interesting arrows and circles drawn on the coffee table napkin.
This is my favorite looking Joker in the game.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Look at this.
So
The fucking red circles.
no, I love it. Yes, it's great. To remind everybody, this copy's your leftmost Joker and is itself copyable. So you can attach a blueprint to a brainstorm, and to unlock it, you have to discard a royal flush. But the advantage is you get a second copier. In there, so
Both are rare Jokers, but both are just a free copy of something in your hand.
Yeah,
which can be extremely powerful.
Yeah, like honestly, there are times where if you've got like a really, really high level like multi-Joker or chips Joker that you've like really fed, you may not need other Jokers in your combo. You may be just better off setting it up so that you just get that thing to effectively have 3 copies with Brainstorm Blueprint.
And when we get to some of the
Brainstorm Blueprint, Brainstorm Blueprint.
When we get to one of the Jokers that I talked about in my run, I think it's one of the potentially most powerful Jokers in the game, just based off of the easiest way to scale it.
Yeah, the 5 legendary Jokers when we talk about them are all pretty crazy.
We probably all show them once.
Yeah, because they are kind of a theme. We'll stack there. Those at the very end, though.
We also probably show the soul card.
There's not too much else to say, but he's one of my favorite looking Jokers in the game.
No, he's a great looking guy.
I like
so shitty.
Blueprint. Blueprint is one of my favorites, but just because I just think they're like fun.
This is Satellite. Satellite earns $1 at the end of every round for each planet card used this run. Yes. So to unlock the Satellite, you need to have at least $400. So it's tough.
$400. You're cutting out again, I think. He's caught randomly.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I thought it was just me.
I forget, but Black Hole doesn't count for this one, right?
No.
Well, yeah, it's not a planet card. It's a spectral card.
Yeah,
right.
Black Hole is technically a spectral card that can show up in planet cards. By the way, hey, chat at home, am I cutting out?
You just come out at random words sometimes. Like it's just.
It may just be my. I'm speaking too low for my normal Discord to catch me sometimes, because I can't fucking enunciate through my stuffed nose. But I want to double
Satellite
check.
Can be very good if you've gotten a board set up with it, but it's a lot of maintenance to get potentially a lot of economy from.
Yeah, because let me hold on. I bet if I pull it up on the wiki again, it'll say just how many you can get.
There are a ton of hands there.
Yeah, it's 9 normals and then 3 with the specials. So at most,
There's
12 per.
There's 12 different hands.
Yeah, which like if you actually get to $12 per round, nothing to sneeze at. But that would mean you'd have to have used one of every planet card, including the secret ones.
Yeah, I mean, like, lot of potential, but a lot of setup.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's the ballot. Let's go.
It's definitely one of those
The
ones that,
hanging
like,
chad.
considering how much effort it is to unlock, it's like unlocking Satellite is more of an achievement in of itself.
Honestly, best I recommend is me. If you can just do the anagram deck and then just basically build up to getting enough double tags, and then just get them what doubles your money. You just get it sorted out.
It's just finding the way to quick unlock that, and then you have it as an option to play with.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think, Cloud9 and Satellite are some of the best ways to have a card that just gives you money.
There it is.
But I also think Satellite is great with having just like a full fucking planet card build, where basically you have like Constellation Joker, where you basically building a mall for every planet you play anyway.
Yeah. There are, and because there are, there's a couple different deck types that can synergize with that. Like there is the Telescope or Observatory deck. There's a specific deck that like gives you the planet bonuses right away.
Telescopic deck?
Yeah.
The Nebula deck.
Nebula.
Yeah, the Nebula deck, you start running a telescope voucher, but one less consumable slot.
Oh, and I was thinking, also the Zodiac deck is start with the effect of Planet Merchant, Tarot Merchant, and Overstock, so you can buy planet cards in the store straight up. You don't need the packs. So those can give you an opportunity to play around.
Well, it's not. They can show up naturally. The voucher cards double their chances.
Yes. Though it's even more lucky because you get Overstock, which means you get 3 slots.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've talked before about Shoot the Moon. There's a very angry queen here.
Plus 13 molt for every queen card in hand, which can be triggered by Mime, for example, which means every queen in hand is down plus 26. If they're steel cards, they're 1.5 timesing you.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
And there's also the one that's done with kings, and those involve kings too. The Baron one.
Yeah, the Baron.
It's like ironically enough, I feel like they're almost I don't know if there's actually there's like weird interactions, but I don't feel like there's enough of like actual just like non or numbered cards that aren't low cards specifically, outside of ones that basically just like are like anti-face cards stuff.
Which is always the problem of any face card build, really.
Also, by the way, the trivia
like,
page did
your
answer
face cards
my
risk
earlier
it.
question. In the Shoot the Moon is a specific winning hand in the game of Hearts. You win a hand by taking every heart card and the Queen of Spades.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, it lines up. But yes, it's another one of those ones that, like, it can work, but you gotta, you're doing the brew. And it is a reference to Hearts because to unlock it, you need to play every heart card in your deck in one round. So presumably you will be doing something to like fishing it out.
Again, one of those jokers. I'm like, how did I achieve this?
Yeah, don't know.
Sometimes it just happens.
All right, we've got another fun one. The driver's license, Class C. Ooh, expires soon.
This is a great one.
Gen Joker, date of birth, 1995, younger than me. Got a signature and everything. The driver's license is a card that says ×3 mult if you have at least 16 enhanced cards in your full deck.
It's a great one.
Yes.
Eventually, you will just have enough.
You unlock it by having 16 enhanced cards.
Listen, if you have enough lucky, listen, there's cards that turn things to bonus cards. Bonus cards and lucky cards count. So it's like that's only like 8 tarot cards you gotta play.
No, it's a good one. Like once you've unlocked it, keep your eye out for it. ×3 mult is pretty gnarly. And if you can make it work, you can make it work. Let me pull these two up side by side because we've crossed 3 hours.
You always find a way, huh?
I guess we're slow. I'm sorry.
No,
We
you
like-
guys
we
don't
like
be
yapping
sorry.
a lot,
I
though.
talked for like 20 minutes. Also, technically,
We like yapping about this game, all right?
One of my favorite jokers, honestly.
yeah, Cartomancer, I'm going to pull up the Astronomer as well in a second, but I was double checking the time. Also, we've been streaming for 3 hours, 11 minutes. Also, 5 of that should not be discounted. At least 5. Because we started like 5 minutes early because we had to yell about the Monkey Man movie. So the timing is a little off, but the one that's pulled up right now is Cartomancer. The next one I'm pulling up is Astronomer. Both of these are unlocked by discovering all of their respective tarot and planet cards. So, they are, again, very similar conditions. Cartomancer is just... Hey, remember Hallucination? When you opened a booster pack, you had a 1 in 2 chance of producing a tarot card?
Yeah.
Cartomancer just produces a tarot card when the blind is selected.
Yeah, he's great.
Just every time a tarot card. And then also another fucking stupid-ass card, crazy good, Astronomer. I think we did mention it earlier this stream, but that's all planet cards and celestial packs in the shop are free.
Which is incredible econ over time, incredible econ and or just general power over time.
Yeah. To unlock them, like I said, remember, discover every tarot card, which is pretty simple. You just got to actually buy and use all of them. And then discover all the planet cards. That one takes a little bit more effort because you got to get the secret ones, they count. But Black Hole isn't required, as we've discussed before. That is technically a spectral card. It just shows up in planet packs. And both of these are just really good. Like, you may not think that, like, those are technically, like, econ factors, but tarot cards do so much for you with, like, your deck fixing and enhancing. And also just means you're making at least an extra $1 every blind. If you're not going to use it, you can sell them.
Yeah, it's pretty strong, honestly.
And then, like I said, Astronomer is just Numby go up. No go down. Numby only go up, Because your scores are just going to get higher. And then our next one, first of all, love the art direction of this guy, but also, again, just one of the funniest jokers to just get and start using. It's the Burnt Joker. Holy shit, Jimbo's on fire.
Oh yeah, this guy.
And this one is a pretty easy one to unlock. You unlock this by selling 50 cards total. Burnt Joker is very simple. Just the first poker hand you discard every round, upgrade it by 1.
Pretty all right.
So first of all, usually, if you're just discarding random cards that are hand filler, technically, this is a card that's good for your high card build, because if you just discard random cards, that counts as high card. But also, if you can afford to discard, a little flush or two, or a couple of pairs, that's all just free enhancements.
good over there?
No, I had to clear my nose. We're back in, though. Okay. But yeah, Burt Joker's just another funny little guy. And like I said, look at him. Look at how much fun he's having.
Yeah, he's great. He's having a very fun time.
He's interesting.
It is one of those ones that, like, I will say, it can be a little tricky to plan around, like, do you discard a big high-value hand to get more economy later, or do you just discard high cards, haha? But if you get him early, again, that's just free levels for your poker hands, and then you can get rid of him to center around your build later. And then before we get into our legendary jokers, we have one very funny last one. Didn't realize this guy was so late in the economy. This is the Molt version of Bull, basically. Though to unlock it, you have to have at least 2 polychrome jokers. This is Bootstraps. Bootstraps gives you +2 multi for every $5 you have. That means if you have less than $5, it does nothing.
This guy's okay. Like, if you can get to a point of having a ridiculous economy, he's great. But you got to get to that point.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the multi version of Bull. It's pretty straightforward. I'm kind of surprised it has like a specific unlock requirement because it seems like a default Joker. But it is what it is. So we're gonna do the last 5 guys, the legendary Jokers. The way you unlock these is there is a specific spectral card, though I believe it can also show up in other packs, called the Soul card.
It can show up in other packs if you have the Hex deck, I think, which like there's a deck that has like a voucher that lets you buy that lets spectral cards show up in other packs.
Yeah. So they have very special unlock requirements, but once you get them, they're all usually really good. I should double check their like lore and stuff, the trivia, to see if they got anything going on. Because I'm sure these are references to very old playing card games. But they do have that kind of weird spectral card sheen on them, which I like. Sorry, I just pulled up Yorick and I'm like, oh, he's so sad.
Are these references to like specific clowns?
I think so.
Like specific clown types? 'Cause I remember hearing about Yorick.
It seems like they are references to specific characters.
Fibonacci! Sorry.
There you go. You got a Fibonacci. That's a good one.
I think Tribule is the most powerful of these 5. Yorick, Yorick can be very silly. Canio requires some setup, but can also be funny. And Perkio is silly, and Chico can leave.
I've never actually gotten Chico's before.
I've been
Chico,
a couple of times.
Chico can get kicked out of the house. I don't like
what they do.
Okay, so these are, from left to right, Canio, Tribule, Yorick, Chico, and Perkeo. And yes, I believe they are all references to characters. Kano is a reference to the opera Pagliacci. Tribule is a actual historical French jester. Yorick refers to a dead court jester in Hamlet, so I think they're all like fictional jesters or jokers.
They're all like actual like legendary jokers that have stories about them.
Yeah. So, what they do is Canio gives you ×1 molt, gains ×1 molt whenever a face card is destroyed. Starts at ×1 molt. So, requires setup. Triboulet, Kings and Queens gives ×2 when scored. York gains ×1 mult every 23 cards, which are discarded. Chico disables the effect of every boss blind. And Portrayal creates a negative copy of a random consumable in your possession at the end of the shop. I would definitely say that Portrayal and Chico are the weakest of this. It's funny to me that you're telling me, like, oh, Chico can leave. I'm like, it is kind of bummed to, like, burn a slot on it, but you have to get a soul card to get him, so just, like, he just kind of shows up.
He shows up, but, like, I never feel happy getting him out of the 5 legendary jokers.
I mean,
Yeah,
once you've gotten the other ones, I can see that. Like I said, I've only ever gotten I think my only 2 legendary unlocks are Portrayal or Chico. Like I've used the soul card multiple times and gotten multiple
I've never actually gotten.
Chicos.
I've never gotten Chico or Kanio.
But yeah, definitely I think that the first 3 are the best. Yorick is slower to get going, but you're gonna be discarding cards no matter what, so you will eventually start getting multis.
Yeah, so if you have 4 or 5 discards in every blind, you can just get 1 Yorick increase.
Yeah. And Kenio obviously means you got to go out of your way to set up, but you can. We've talked about trading card before, you know, a few other cases.
Trading card, the Hangman's Hero card counts,
Yeah.
glass cards count. There are many options to break face cards or to destroy face cards. But again, like it's always the cost of doing it, but your end goal is always to get
but also to be
economy
fair,
over
it's
point scoring.
it's you know, it is gains ×1 mult every time you do that. So
Yeah.
you do it just a couple of times, and it's as good as, you know, some of those other guys that are like, oh, gains, you know, ×0.25 mult every time you do something. So it scales good. Triboulet is definitely the best. Just Kings and Queens give ×2 when scored.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
There's already a build for that, yeah.
So, all of them have some pretty good stuff. Let me see. Can I want to double check the wiki before we get out of here. If I can pull up the art for, like, the Friends of Jimbo.
Friends of Jimbo are pretty great.
Okay, yeah, we have some that are pretty good. We can cycle through. But if you don't know, Friends of Jimbo is basically they've done free updates, which you can replace your face cards of specific suits with specific friends, which are just other game franchises. So
Sorry.
that's-
Ever since you mentioned Pagliacci, I've had this playing in my head, and I've specifically clipped it at the specific time I'm thinking of.
all right. I cannot click that because that is a live performance. That is
Unavailable! No! Fuck you, Discord!
And that's why we're not clicking it, especially. If he's like, it's
Yeah.
unavailable, because I'm like, then that means that's absolutely super claimed.
Yeah, makes sense, but still, sucks.
I'll fish out the time code later. But so we're gonna pull up spades really quick. You can probably do this I can probably do this in foursomes, just because there's 4 Friends of Jimbo and there's 4 suits. So first, your Spades options. So you've got Witcher, Shovel Knight, Cyberpunk, and Don't Starve. I rock the Cyberpunk one, obviously, but all of these are pretty good.
Yeah, like I don't think of all of these there's a bad looking one. Even the Amogus one are fine.
I mean, the Amogus one's
Cool.
very funny for stuff
Yeah.
in the show, but like, yeah. So they're all.
I like the Witcher a lot. It's just like the nice.
I mean, I think
there's also Day of the Diver.
well, yeah, we're gonna talk about that one later. That's
The
one.
best
That's
indie
not
game
spades.
ever, guys.
Sorry.
But yes, no, they're all real good. The Witcher one does feel very thematically appropriate. I also think that the Cyberpunk ones also fit like in universe they could be in there. And I don't know. I believe that the one last surprise final patch does include a like Balatro mini crossover quest in Cyberpunk now. So
Yes, there's a Balatro like quest.
So you can hunt that down. But yeah, all of these are pretty good. Let me clear the board and pick up hearts. Starting with, because I think it's the first one they did, the Among Us one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, the king is very funny.
They look really good.
It's
No?
if anything, it's just like it's an A to B process.
I like the Jack mainly because that's what I normally like to do in Among Us when we used to play, just have a little guy following me.
Yeah. So Hearts is Among Us, Binding of Isaac, Cult of the Lamb, and Divinity 2, I think specifically. Yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2,
Yeah.
sorry. So, other than the fact that the Divinity one is, like, once again, very, like, normal pattern for poker cards among all these funny little guys amuses me. But no, all of these fit really good and look really great. Like, very, very solid mixture of all the art styles and kind of doing that parallaxing.
You know, nothing more to say about it. They
Yeah.
look really nice.
Yeah. Really crisp, really clean. So, next is clubs. Sorry, I would not have coughed in the mic, but I was mid-saying the word clubs.
The Vampire Survivors one looks excellent. I mean, again, all of these look great for the clubs.
Yep. And if you don't know, these are all free, so you can just set them in your menu with customizing your cards. Clubs is
third
Vampire
one-
Survivors, Slay the Spire, Potioncraft, and Warframe.
Hey!
Honestly, my favorite thing about these is I usually put the high contrast cards on, unless I get a smear joker. And the high contrast for clubs are like a light blue color, and the light blue color works for a lot of like it still works even well for a lot of the designs.
Yeah, it plays pretty well together with all of these. I normally use Slay the Spire, but all of these, once again, look good and are all fun references.
I use the Warframe ones. Very good.
I need to check what options I got again, but yeah.
I mean, unless, like, the mobile version is
Mobile version still has it, yeah.
behind, yes, they all should be there. If your game is up to date, because they're all free. But last, Diamonds. And Diamonds is the aforementioned Dave the Diver, Stardew Valley, Enter the Gungeon, and 1000 Times Resist.
I've never heard of that one, to be honest.
I know Thousand Resistance. I just don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it before, but it makes sense for it to be rolling in these circles.
I
And
know.
once again,
I know
all
it's
these
a thing, but
fit together pretty well. Especially, I want to say, because the high contrast for Diamonds is it's more of a like yellowy orange color.
Yeah, and most of these designs already kind of run the yellow, so they end up looking pretty nice still.
Also, if you are a Stardew head, the Stardew ones here were specifically drawn by Concerned Ape, the developer of Stardew Valley.
Hey!
He actually did the pixel art for that. But yeah, no, all of these, once again, great fits, all very unique feels. The Enter the Gungeon is a game I need to get around to playing, but just like their specific art style is so cute and funny, of just like
It's
little bullety boys.
adorable. I suck at bullet hells.
And Dave the Diver is just that's what I normally rock. Just good little guys. Just
I
like,
play with the Enter the Gungeon ones because it's a game that like I really never got too far into, but I just kind of lost myself in playing for a long time. It just looks really nice.
Yeah. No, I think all of these are a pretty good fit. And honestly, the Stardew ones are very funny to me. Like the characters they picked. The mayor is the king. But yeah, no. So that's Friends of Jimbo. I can only assume with as Balatro continues to be more popular, it's entirely probable that there will be more of these.
There likely will.
Because the game is getting more attention all the time. It's really fun, and more people jump in, and so, you know, all kinds of stuff. Hey, since Ben Starr is Jimbo, maybe he could talk to Square, and we can get Final Fantasy-themed Friends of Jimbo. Who knows?
Torgal as the Jack would be great.
We need Sephiroth.
Because,
We
like,
always
honestly, I
use
feel like it'd be Jill would be the queen. Like,
I mean, yes,
We
if we
always
actually
need
got
more
Final
Sephiroth.
Fantasy 16, it should be
Torgal, Jill. Clive.
yeah, Torgal is the Jack, Jill, Clive. That would be very funny. But no, there's all kinds of possibilities. And while usually these trend towards smaller games that are not part of, like, the classical big publishers, obviously, like, it is not exclusively indie games. Like, Cyberpunk is still a AAA game, you know, whatchamacallit, we've talked before, the joke about Dave the Diver is, like, not technically indie. That's developed under Nexon, who is huge, but is not part of, like, the normal rotation of major publishers. So we pick some fun choices. But you never know with indies coming out. But all right, that's part 2 of the Balatro episode.
We're finished. We're free.
Yep. Thanks everybody for coming.
Only took about 7 hours to yap about it all.
Hey, that's technically, that means it took us less time than Hero, because that was 4 streams. God. But yeah, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Probably means next week we should be back for to finally talk about Ryzial. We can explain how rank 4s work. Which is good, because I don't actually... Everybody just, like, jokes about Ryzial combos, and I'm just like, yes, rank 4s. I don't actually know how that deck works. I should probably figure that out, because it's going to show up on Master Duel someday, and I bet a billion people are going to play it. So, it'll be good to learn the ins and outs, but yeah, we'll be back in and keep you apprised of all our plans. I'm not going to do a big, long outro because I could use some more water as my voice is getting scratchy through the coughing. So I will talk to you later. But stay tuned. Very shortly after the end of this stream, The Wanted for Tezcatlipoca will go up. It's already up for patrons, and I'll set it public soon because we've got maintenance in like 30 minutes. So everybody make sure you log into FGO.
Wahoo!
And after Mate, Lost Belt 7 Part 2 drops, so everybody get ready. Hold on to your pants for that.
Yeah, and I've got a fun shift tonight to deal with.
A lot of work to do.
Yep. So,
Omega, wish me luck for tomorrow if we do 14, because I'm going to go... I finish work at 1 a.m.
geez, okay. Well, I'll see you if I see you or not. Damn. All right, we're going to get on out here.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Night, everybody.